Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back to Stamford Bridge yet again. I like how that name is stuck now.
It's fine. I'm okay with it. I didn't mind it. I just didn't think people would get it.
But that's... it's one of those in-group things where you can feel smarter than the outsiders. But no, let me explain. It's a very deep, mimetic, existential thing.
Yeah. True.
Very important. Right. I'm sure many of you has been paying attention to the Twitters as of late and the general breakdown in certain regions, including... Did you see that Salon article, Sargon?
What, the Amanda Marcotte one?
I think so.
I did. Where she was like, Doge is GamerGate.
Yes. GamerGate is destroying the federal government. I love that.
Yeah, I did a Let's See to Daily video on that, just because I was like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is. It was just like that, basically, I was doing. It's like, yes, it is, and you can get fucked.
Yep. Oh, that was a fantastic article, because she's just angry. She's just incredibly upset.
Oh, yeah.
The entire article is just one long screaming scree. I particularly like the point where she goes, GameGate was started because the men in it were jealous of the male feminists of all the pussy they were getting.
I think she was saying I think she was talking about the women.
What?
They were jealous of the whores. I think that's what she was saying.
Do you think so? I thought she said that the guys behind GameGate were jealous of the male feminists.
That's even more amusing. I hope that's what she meant.
It was a wonderful article, because it's just anger. Just screeching, spitting anger.
Oh, yeah. Just how dare Gamergate conquer us, basically.
Yes.
It's like, well, sorry. You should have just left us alone.
Yeah. Literally, because at one moment, she's like, Gamergate was completely pointless. It failed. Then, Gamergate has also destroyed the federal government. Oh.
I know what I love as well. Oh, Gamergate's a really stupid movement. It's like, well, why are we winning then?
Yeah, it turns out that us failing looks like the collapse of the US.
Yeah, literally, USAID is funding wokeism all around the world. Well, that's defunded now. Well, looks like Gamergate. I mean, that's just literally what Gamergate wanted, right? Mm-hmm. That's literally, we want all of this defunded. We're going to come for your advertisers. We're going to do all of this stuff. And it turns out that it just took Gamergate a decade to win. That's all.
And the thing is, again, none of this needed to happen. That's the ridiculous part of it. If they had left us alone, we would probably have remained largely ignorant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. If they just had everything else rather than gaming, we'd have been like, well, at least they're not fucking around with this, and would have left them to it.
Yeah, but they had... I know you remember this article.
Oh, yeah. The gamers are dead articles.
Yep.
Have you not got... what's her name? Hang on. I'll send it to you.
They just couldn't help themselves.
Leigh Alexander, that's the one. Where's the gamers are over? Yeah, I have an archive of it. I mean, the fucking arrogance of these people to think, oh yeah, we just roll over. The absolute arrogance of it. In fact, should we have a look at this? Should we revisit this?
We should. Because it's a great framing for what comes next.
Yeah, exactly. It's been 10 years, and this is Leigh Alexander saying, no, all of these people who play video games are bad people, and fuck them. And it's like, oh, okay, that's how it is it? Got it.
And again, this came as a bit of a genuine shock back then. It's like, what do you mean, gamers are over? Games don't have to be your audience. Your entire job is writing about video games. Are you sure?
And the entire game industry's raison d'etre is make video games for people who like video games. Anyway, let's go through this a second, right? She says, I often say I'm a video game culture writer, but lately I don't know exactly what that means. Game culture is kind of embarrassing. It's not even a culture. It's buying things, spackling over memes and in-jokes repeatedly and getting mad on the internet. Well, okay, culture is anything that people do, right? It's the character of what they do. And so if we're buying video games or video game accessories and sending memes and in-jokes of Skyrim or Total War or whatever it is, that's our culture. It's literally that simple. You can't say it's not a culture. That's literally definitionally what it is, right? But okay, for her to say, well, it's kind of embarrassing. Okay, who asked for the Valley Girl to come in and hang out? Like, fuck off. We were having fun without you, and we're going to have fun after you. Fuck off. Like, that simple, actually.
Well, exactly. But the thing is, back then, there was this idea that we needed to do better. Like, one of the famous characters back then, I don't even know if I'm allowed to show this image on YouTube anymore.
Stephanie Sterling.
Yeah, Stephanie Sterling, correct. Like,
seriously, right? If you went back to 2014 and be like, Jim, this is going to be you in the future, and this show him a picture of his future self, he would have told you you're a fucking idiot and he would have laughed at you, right? He'd never have believed it.
Yes, but he was on the Anita Sarkeesian side, like gaming needs to grow up because there was this idea that we couldn't be legitimate if we didn't align ourselves with the acceptable forms of art, of expression, right?
Yeah, it's that they had the rising cultural zeitgeist. That's what it was.
Yeah, like they were looking at their side gaining power, and it's like, okay, we need to be more like that.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what it was.
This also, by the way, is exactly why they had this like audacity, this confidence, because this happens to every power when it rises. It's happened to conservatives, it's happened to the left and the right over and over again. They get so established that they believe their worldview will simply be accepted by everyone. And more often than not, any political movement is just a small minority who has gotten the majority on their side temporarily until they start saying shit like this.
I mean, look at this. Just look at so the framing itself, you think about it, right? Gamers don't have to be your audience. Gamers are right. Gamers are uncool, right? That's what she's saying. She's come in like the Valley Girl that she was and been like, gamers cringe, ick. I don't like gamers.
Yeah, on a site called Gama Sutra, the art and business of making games.
Yeah, exactly, right. But it's like, okay, that's great if you give a flying fuck what Valley Girls think.
Yeah.
I don't care at all. Like, none of my friends care. No one I knew would have been like, oh no, a woman doesn't like us playing video games, lads. It's time to pack it in. Right? No one thinks like, no one cares.
No one cares, but again, we didn't have the balls to say it back then.
Well, I think that's what GamerGate kind of was, though, right? It was just like, no, fuck you, I'm not having this.
Yeah, like it was the beginning of the rise against this.
Yeah. But she says, games culture is a petri dish of people who know so little about human social interaction and professional life works that they can concoct online wars about social justice or game journalism ethics, straight-faced, and cause genuine human consequences because of video games. Like, okay, well, look, if video games weren't a big deal, why is it your entire job?
Yeah.
Just out of interest.
And again, this is one of the many lines of attacks that at the time we were confused about and initially approached openly. Like, well, because video games are fun, you're writing for a video game site?
So just to be clear, Gama Sutra no longer exists.
Yep.
That article is no longer on the internet. We've only got this archive.
I mean, there was a rumor going around. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. So Jason Schreier had wrote this thing here. There are maybe 24 people with full-time jobs in video game press right now.
Oh no! Oh, how terrible!
I say.
Oh, how could GamerGate have done this to us?
You made your bed, get fucked in it.
Yeah, that's literally who was it that said that? It was fucking one of them. One of them said that. You know, oh, you guys made your bed, you can get fucked in it. It's like, yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, and again, they're complaining like very little traffic leads to revenue loss. Yeah, yes, nobody's clicking on your shit. Even though you're producing more articles than ever about how to figure out how to get the best armor in Kingdom Come Deliverance or any other game, nobody likes you.
Yeah, I am in no way compelled to click on you.
Yep. In fact, I am actively hostile towards you. And this went from, we had tons of sites like these dedicated to video gaming because people were genuinely interested.
Mm-hmm. And there were literally like a dozen of these that came out all on the same day.
Yeah. Like, there were
I
loads.
have lost.
Yeah.
This was an industry that was capable of supporting print magazines for the longest time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But right, so let's carry on. Sorry, right. So we've got the I don't like games, I don't like gamers, this is all cringe. Why am I here, right? I don't like these people, why am I here? In fact, she then says, lately, I often find myself wondering what I'm even doing here, and I know I'm not alone. It's like, wow. That's it just, again, the lack of self-awareness. It's like, look, I mean, honestly, right, it's because it's a male-dominated hobby, and you're a valley girl, right? That's just literally what this is. You care about the social atmosphere of it, but we don't care about that.
Yes,
You know?
her primary interest in this is the political aspect, and so she comes into a group of people who don't give a fuck about this. Like, why aren't you listening to me? I don't know, Marxism. I don't. It's just Mario.
Yeah, no, that's totally true.
Immediately, it's followed by the Jim Sterling line too. All of us should be better than this.
Oh God! God, you should deeply question life if this was this. Oh, it's Zoe Quinn. It's a Motherboard article, a Verge article, a Vice article, a Joss Whedon's Twitter post, and something else. Oh, it's where Joss Whedon was endorsing Anita Sarkeesian, right? Okay.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Right. So, like, complaining that this shouldn't be your business's public face to the rest of the world. It's like, fuck the rest of the world. Don't care. Didn't ask. Why are you here?
Yeah, and here, you don't want to be divisive. Who's being divided? Except for people who's okay with an infantilized culture desert or shitty behavior and people who aren't. People who aren't. What is that debate? Yeah, no, that was our desert. We made it. We liked it there.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, again, it's amazing. It's like, you know, you can lead like the blind man through all of this, but if they can't see it, they can't see it, right? So we're doing, like, Leigh Alexander has never fucking, you know, shit talked her friends on TeamSpeak, you know what I mean, while playing a video game, right? I used to shit talk my friends on Quake 3 all day, right? On the last level of Quake 3, back when I was in my 20s, where you've got the railgun and you've got the jumping platforms, I used to be a fucking god at shooting people in midair with the railgun. And man, would I we'd shit talk each other all day, right? She has no idea this exists. She has no idea. This is all an alien universe to her that she couldn't comprehend, even if she could perceive it. And so she's like, wow, this is a cultural desert here. It's like, no, we're all having fun without you, Leigh, in a way that you can't understand.
Yes, there is none of the performative platitudes that she's used to. The performative curtsies.
Very, very much, very much. And that's the issue, is that we're not being social in a way that a woman can perceive.
And it's also the lack of understanding that this is a specific space in which this is acceptable, and that in and of itself is appealing. It doesn't mean that you're going to be more rude or less courteous in person.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. It's you know, but I mean, that's, again, never been questioned, really, is it?
Well, I think that's exactly kind of what they're doing here. That's what made it so easy for them to dehumanize our side so early on. The idea of that all of the gamers are just mindless Neanderthals that want to yell N-words over Xbox Live.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Video games of that time would become scapegoats for moral panic for atrocities committed by young white teen boys in hyper-capitalist America. This is a flashback, isn't it?
God, this is classic. Like, I mean, just what? Like, they should have told us everything. Oh, they're whining about capitalism, right? They're communists. Got it. Okay, should have known. Should have known. But yeah, this is just like, I mean, yet in 2014, the industry has changed. We still think angry young men are the primary demographic of commercial video games. Yet average software revenues from the commercial space have contracted massively year on year, with only a few sterling brands enjoying predictable success. Well, it's probably worse now, and if you weren't producing shit woke games, this wouldn't be the problem, would it?
Yeah.
I mean, V's got a great take on this. He's non-binary, right? As in, he's the one with the money. You want his money. You'll make what he wants, or he'll buy something else.
Yeah, and again, they were lying to us. There are new audiences and new creators alike. Traditional gaming is sloughing off, culture and economically like the carapace of a bug. It turns out, no, there was no new audience. It didn't exist.
But modern audiences aren't. Modern audiences.
Like, this was the lie they started selling now more than 10 years ago. Like, there's totally a bunch of people like me ready to come in and invest in gaming.
Yes. Like, why would they believe this? That's the thing. They motivated reasoning. They wanted to believe it.
Yes. They wanted to believe that their side was the... I mean... They made the same mistake that I see some people are beginning to make now, assuming that they are the majority, as in the absolute majority, when in reality, both of our sides are just arguing over the majority and trying to convince them to go our way.
Yeah.
Gamer isn't just a dated demographic label that most people increasingly prefer not to... I love this too. What was it? I prefer to call myself a player, actually.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was. I forgot about that. They're like, no, we're not gamers, we're players.
It's
like, okay, loser. Sorry, what website did you used to work for, Lay? That no longer exists. But notice the attack, right? It's like, no, we're attacking on the vector of your identity, which, I mean, has always been a fairly weakly held identity, right? Like, outside of actually playing a game, nobody cares whether they're a gamer or not, because obviously I'm at work. What difference would it make? Blah, 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 right? But notice the intrinsic thing that they have to do. It's like, right, no, we have to deny your identity and then construct a new one that is progressive, that is inclusive, that is diverse, that is according to our rules. We set the rules in this new identity.
Yep. And our opposition are, well, hey, straight out of the Salon article, how little has changed. These obtuse shitslingers, these wailing hyper-consumers, these childish internet arguists, they are not my audience, and they don't have to be yours.
I mean, I agree with her. They don't give a shit what she says.
Yep, they weren't your audience, and that's why the site no longer exists.
Does The Escapist still exist? I used to watch The Escapist quite a lot.
Yeah, I think so, but they don't have Yahtzee on it anymore. Who's the only reason anybody watched it?
Yeah, I know that. I was going to say, actually, I used to watch Movie Bob Yahtzee and Jim Sterling there. I used to quite like them all before they got political. What happened to Yahtzee?
Yahtzee left and started his own YouTube channel with a bunch of people from The Escapists and are doing pretty well.
Right.
Yahtzee 2 is a proper shit liberal.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he even had a little dig in one of his latest videos, like, if you're a Trump supporter, go die, basically.
Oh, no.
But he's still funny enough that most of the people just ignore his retarded takes.
Right. I haven't watched his videos in years, actually.
Me neither.
God, the fall from cultural relevance of these things.
Oh, it's been enormous. I mean, again, we can go from, these obtuse shitslays, they aren't your audience. There aren't any sides here. We're the only ones in the right, to 10 years later, where it's like, oh, crap. It seems as if the GamerGaters have completely won and routed us from every field, and now we're screaming because they're defunding us.
So I'm looking at The Escapist, and there's just like a random article that was published a week ago, right? Why are the Ratcliffe kids so damn creepy in the White Lotus? I don't even know what this is. I was looking at it, I wonder how many views this gets. And there's a poll at the bottom, right? Which one is your favourite? And so I clicked on it, and it's had 5 votes. So if 1% That's okay. 500 people have looked at this.
I was just looking. There's a little like thing there. It's the comment button, basically.
Hmm.
You know, I join the conversation, and most of them have zero comments.
No one seems to have shared their thoughts on this. But the thing is, notice how they're still using the Gawker model of clickbait, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for anyone who doesn't remember, Gawker, in fact, is Gawker back? I heard it was coming back.
American blog, it was best neon, Gawker, Chelsea, Halifax.
So, in 2002, it was founded by Nick Denton after he left the Financial Times. Right, so is it back?
No,
it's not.
Gawker Archives. Yeah, I don't think so.
Right, no, it's not. Right, so it's still offline. So Gawker, for anyone who doesn't remember, was a part of like the slopification of the internet before the concept of slop really existed, right? So they would just publish shit clickbait articles that were like 5 reasons why you should split up with your boyfriend if he has a ham sandwich before bed or something like that, right? And for about 5 or 6 years in the beginning, it wasn't that bad. It was just like basic bitch, insufferable clickbait that everyone hated because of the format that it was. But because the internet was relatively new, because I remember it came out in 2002 originally, people were being exposed to a lot of stuff they weren't used to, right? And it was run by relatively intelligent and well-educated sort of California millennials when they were quite young. And so they were innovating something new on the internet. And so they'd get loads and loads of views. Like these would be shared around, people on Facebook and stuff like that. And it towards the end, like 2010 sort of era, it was really big, really, really big. And then it started getting really, really political, really insanely woke as things got more woke. And it became utterly insufferable. And then they published Hulk Hogan's sex tape.
Mm-hmm.
And Hulk Hogan sued the shit out of them. And Gawker went down in flames.
Yep. Like, Gawker can best be described as AI slop before we knew what AI slop was.
Yeah, it was definitely made by NPCs. So, good on... Good on Hulk Hogan, who then later came out to be MAGA.
Yep.
For destroying Gawker. But Gawker was kind of like patient zero of a lot of the sort of clickbait sites. And so if you look at the Escapist now, they've got basically it's just the same Gawker format where it's just like, look at these shit clickbait articles that will add absolutely zero value to your life, right? And nobody's reading them.
Yeah, nobody's reading them.
Moved on. Yeah. And I'm glad.
Well, that's the entire thing about all of these. They only existed because they had investors who didn't know what they were buying into. But it's like, oh, it's a media brand or something. Those are good, right?
Well, not just those good. All the millennial shitlibs who were going into the companies were like, oh yeah, this is great, because it was promoting their worldview. It allowed them to be on the cutting edge of a culture that the boomers didn't understand.
Mm-hmm. And they thought that they were setting, culture, that they were determining the course of things, and getting rich was doing so. But in reality, as they focused in more and more on the audience they thought they were growing, the less and less people actually came to their sites.
Mm. Yeah. But not only that, it was politically influential as well. And same sort of thing with BuzzFeed. How's BuzzFeed doing?
Isn't BuzzFeed dead?
I don't know. BuzzFeed still exists.
Let's see. BuzzFeed. 13 tragic celebrity deaths.
Well, there we go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Gawker and BuzzFeed and all those sort of shitlib millennial fucking woke things. But again, like I'm looking at the articles, no comments on them.
Oh yeah, there was
And
BuzzFeed News that was shuttered a couple of years ago.
It was, but look at the content mill of this, right? This is the sheer woke slop that they throw out, right? One 3 hours ago, one 16 minutes ago, one like there's one every like 28 minutes ago, 29 minutes ago, 22 minutes ago, 1 hour ago, 1 hour ago, 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 4 hours ago. Like this is they must be putting up 100 plus articles a day of this total shit slop. Just throwing it on the internet and hoping people are clicking on it.
Yeah, and it's all designed to just be ridiculous. What's your soulmate's first initial? Eat only Italian food for 24 hours, and I'll tell you.
Yeah. I can't stop laughing at these people who absolutely roasted and destroyed their entire lives into oblivion. Oh, yeah, that sounds fun. And it's total shit. Just like screenshots of group chats and stuff. Are there any comments on it? Let me see. This was posted 4 hours ago. There have been 6 comments.
Yep.
44 likes.
Like even the little impression window next to it, 44, 57, 50, nothing, 31, 20, nothing.
Yeah. Like these are dead. Like this content model is dead. And the thing is, notice that you'll see on it things like trending and stuff like this, right? Mm-hmm. So the concept of trending is important to the early internet, the early social media internet, right? Because before social media, you didn't really know what other people were looking at on the internet, right? And so, like, a friend of yours would email you a link to something and be like, hey, check out, like, this blog. It's called Maddox or something, right? And you'd be like, oh, okay, I've never heard of this. Oh, the greatest page in the universe, whatever it is, right? And that's how you discover things. Because discovering things is a lot more difficult, really. The search engines weren't nearly as good as they are now, etc., right? And it was one of those things where as soon as social media came around in about 2006 to 2009, suddenly the idea of trending, like these pages got millions of people signing up to them on like Facebook and stuff, subscribing to them on Facebook and Twitter and various other platforms. And suddenly, like, you had this kind of panopticon effect where everyone knew everyone was looking at whatever BuzzFeed had posted. And now that sort of, like Eye of Sauron effect has dissipated because everyone is off everywhere else. Like the early internet was a lot more centralized than people realized as soon as social media came along. And it's like the early internet before social media, totally decentralized. Then it became weirdly sort of panopticon-like in the brand new, in social media. And it's only now where the internet feels big again. Like, I'll come across YouTube channels that have got like 10 million followers, and I've never heard of them.
Oh yeah, I've discovered entire genres of YouTube. That's like, what? You just film yourself camping. It's like, yeah. How many subscribers do you have? Like 3 million? Like, holy shit.
Yeah. No, there are entire genre. Like, I discovered, what did I discover the other day? There was a fucking thing I discovered the other day. I was like, oh wow, loads of people are doing this. I've never even heard about it, right? Yeah. So suddenly the internet feels big again, like it used to before social media. But for a period of time, from around 2006 to 2014, the internet actually felt very small, and it felt like these people were monopolizing everyone's attention. And thank God that content model has died.
Yeah, like, honestly, a lot of this also comes down to the TikTokification of things where, like the YouTube Shorts push and the try to spread everybody out as much as possible.
Heresy's the question.
Yeah.
With
Fire
both
is the
benefits
answer.
and detriments, because I do feel like this, in a way, ends up in a business model that makes the rich richer, where it'll show you the big videos, and those will get a lot of attention, and the small videos will then largely be ignored again.
Yeah, but at least it spreads a lot of stuff out.
At least it shows you more things. Like, here, this is a channel that it's just a dude from England who just eats ridiculous portions of food. And I love it. It's just retarded to watch them. I'm like, wow, this is insane.
See, I've never heard of this, but I can't believe he's not gargantuan and fat.
Oh no, like this was so fascinating about this guy. He works out like a madman every day of the week and eats nothing but yogurt. And then he goes and just pounds away like 6 pounds of food in a sitting in like 10 minutes. Like, how do you even?
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's like watching a car wreck in slow motion where you're like, how did you do that?
I would quite like a giant Cornish pasty, though.
Yeah. When is the Sargon eating cat channel going out? But like, there's all I realized they were doing like camping videos, horror readings, and all kinds of stuff. I never expected to be on YouTube, but that have surprisingly vibrant communities.
Yeah, I mean, like, good.
Even though like that's the dark side of it again. I used to watch. I think they call it creepypastas, where they just had like horror stories and they read.
Yeah.
Those were really huge for a while, but as the content spread began to start, most of those channels are now just ghost yards of like 5 million subscribers, 10,000 views a video.
Yeah. Rough.
Yep. Ups and downsides, but hey, I mean, we complain, and at least I'm not at 15 fucking comments a video yet.
Well, yeah, thank God. Like and subscribe for the algorithm, lads.
Yeah, unironically, it's... Chat, again, if you get to 1,000 likes on a video, I'll sneak Savvy on this cast and introduce her to Sargon. That's like chat's greatest wish right now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But to finally, like, spiral this all the way around, there's been a lot of, like, mainstream realization of this idea now that you shouldn't have messed with video games.
No.
I saw Asmongold even comment on this, like, you shouldn't have touched the video games. I'm like, yes. We've finally reached that level of mainstream realization where people are looking back at the rise of Trump and going, hey, this GamerGate thing actually did have an effect on this. And they are viewing this from 1,000 feet out, right? They have very little context, very little understanding of what was going on. But even they are now looking at this and realizing, holy shit, a lot of this did actually happen because they started coming for people's hobbies. As this quote that you sent me illuminates brilliantly, the most terrifying force of death comes from the hands of men who wanted to be left alone.
Yeah, so this is apparently a Solzhenitsyn quote. Now, I can't find the original source, so take it with a grain of salt. It may well not be a Solzhenitsyn quote. But the important thing is actually not the veracity of the quote itself. The important thing is that it accurately describes how we feel about it. And the thing is, it really does sound like the sort of thing he would have said, right? So I'm going to read it. He says, quote, or apparently says, quote, "The most terrifying force of death comes from the hands of men who wanted to be left alone. They try so very hard to mind their own business and provide for themselves and those they love. They resist every impulse to fight back, knowing the force and permanent change of life that will come from it. They know that the moment they fight back, their lives as they have lived them are over. The moment the men who wanted to be left alone are forced to fight back, it is a form of suicide. They are literally killing off who they used to be, which is why, when forced to take up violence, these men who wanted to be left alone fight with an unholy vengeance against those who murdered their former lives. They fight with raw hate and a drive that cannot be fathomed by those who are merely play-acting at politics and terror. True terror will arrive at these people's doors, and they will cry, scream, and beg for mercy, but it will fall upon the deaf ears of the men who just wanted to be left alone." And this is, without obviously the terror and violence, in a much more metaphorical sense, is how we are reacting to Amanda Marcotte complaining that Gamergate is currently defunding the US government. It's like, oh, deaf ears, Amanda. Deaf fucking ears. You should have, like, I hope that Salon's funding from USAID is being cut. You should have just shut the fuck up and left us alone, but you couldn't. You didn't. And now, do you think there's going to be any mercy from anyone who supported Gamergate? Like, those Zoomers grew up watching our videos, bro. Like, they're happy to be defunding you.
Yeah. Like, literally, there was this one for a while ago where one of the developers of old BioWare is like, don't be cruel to people. I'm like, we don't care anymore. You were cruel to us. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I want to play video games. You forced me to start reading up on Antonio Gramsci and cultural Marxism. Fuck you.
Yeah, you forced me to get fucking philosophy degrees so I could destroy your fucking ideology. No. Just whatever mercy you were asking for. No, that's gone.
I was happy listen, If I just kept making Warhammer videos and never talked politics, I would have been in with Creative Assembly. They used to fucking email me and invite me to places, okay?
Yeah.
I would probably have had 1 million subscriber channels now, just talk about, like, fucking toy miniatures. If you had just stayed the fuck out of this.
Yeah. And honestly, I would have been there making my shit little video games forever. You know? I would never have even started a YouTube channel.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, but now it is total war on every front forever. Eternal, total war against wokeism, against leftism, against liberalism, whatever you want to call it. Like, we will have our civilizations. This is what you create. And the thing is, this is our jobs. This is our full-time jobs. We get up every day, we get paid to do this by the good grace of the people watching us and who want us to continue. You know? So you've created your own destruction here, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. You antagonized a bunch of autists who just wanted to be left alone to play their goddamn video games. You couldn't.
Yeah. Okay. Lesson learned. Message received.
And again, the point about the no mercy as well. They will cry, scream, and beg for mercy. Exactly.
Yeah.
They will throw the arguments they make as well is, like, the entire Salon article is this person making attack after attack after attack, screaming, yelling, you're evil, you're fascist, you're a monster, you're Nazi, blah. And then there's the beautiful paragraph where she goes, I don't understand where all this dehumanization of the opposition comes from.
Oh, fuck off.
I don't know where we learned that.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm not very sympathetic to that argument anymore. I'm really sorry.
No, at all. Because I remember all of this. I remember going from like, oh, you know, we should be better than them. We shouldn't stoop to their depths to being like, I think I want your job taken away.
Yeah, no, because honestly, we were good. We were, you know, kind and naive.
Kind and naive. Yes.
No, we genuinely were. Like, we had no idea how this was going to work out. We had no idea what we were up against. We had no idea how well funded they were. We had no idea, like, how far their connections would go. Like, when we saw Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn at the fucking UN.
Fucking UN, yes.
Like, we were just sat there. I was sat there in my front room because at the time I wasn't married. Was my son May was like 1 year old or something. I wasn't even living with my wife at the time. And like, I was just sat there in this 1-bedroom apartment I rented, just being like, what the fuck? How is this like our arch nemesis?
Yes, like it was absurd too. And it was, as you say, like a realization moment of, okay, these people aren't like randos writing articles for a niche website about my niche hobby. They're talking about being harassed in the United Nations.
Yeah, they're trying to get us all censored in the UN.
Yeah, like this isn't the debate on the internet anymore.
No, not at all. And so it was just one of those things where it's like, right, okay, that's how far you're going to take this, is it? Right, understood.
Yeah, straight up. That's where we had to go, and that's where we are now. We've arrived at, GamerGate destroyed the federal government.
Yep.
Which is still one of the best takes in human history.
It is, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of everyone. Well done, chaps.
Well done indeed.
Yeah, this is a team effort.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't have been possible without us all.
Like, again, this really does speak to like the primordial force that is released by this. They'd convinced everyone, like by simply just using the normal platitudes of kindness that people weren't equipped to deal with or handle, and then they forced people to learn how to deal with them. Yeah.
But again, you sow the wind, you reap the whirlwind.
I have lost.
Absolutely. And I saw Hugh tweeted this one out too, and I want to watch this in a bit.
Go on then. Well, let's watch it now.
Government employees' existential dread. Yes. Let's catch up a little bit on the super chats first before they start going out of control again. Valumior, happy Polish Donut Day. How many did you have today? The Polish have donuts?
The Polish have days for donuts. I did not know this.
I did not know this either. Polish donuts. Right. Pishkashki. Pashki? I don't know if I'd call that a donut. I'd call that like a...
Which, don't get me wrong, I like donuts just as much as anyone else, so I'm not complaining.
Traditional Polish donut. I mean, that does look delicious, but I don't know if I'd call it a donut.
Well, it is a donut. It's a jam-filled donut. Yeah, it's just... Hang on, let me...
You ignorant slut.
Well, they don't even have holes in them. There's little buns with jam inside.
Yeah, no, that's... In the English-speaking world, I'll literally send you a very common grocery store item in Britain. In England, this is what's a jam donut.
I've lost. Shit.
Tesco, 5 jam donuts. Oh, it's...
Exactly the same product.
Now, there you go.
So I don't know why you'd have a day for them. In England, we eat these any day we want to eat them. They're not good for you, but they are nice.
The question.
Oh,
Fire
hey,
is the answer.
good for you. You celebrate donut today.
Yeah. that's very surprising to me, but what you can do.
It's a good day to have, don't get me wrong. River Norse, once more they meet up on the bridge, Saxon and Viking.
Service guarantees
Yes.
citizenship.
Belial, trashing of the great dragon as it's pinned to the earth, thrashing about in a last attempt at doing as much damage as possible out of spite and malice, accusing its foes of all the crimes it did. Yes, I really like the idea of Saint George pinning the dragon of wokeism to the ground as it just spits and hiss, racist, racist.
Oh God, me too. And that's the thing, no mercy whatsoever. My heart cannot be stirred. I want all of them fired. Cry harder. Like, cry. If you think you're ever going to get a second of mercy out of me when it comes to, should a woke person be fired from their job?
Yes.
Like, do you know what you fuckers have put me through for the last decade? Like, fuck you. And, like, if you can find, like, the original video I did, like, talking about feminist frequency stuff, and I'm so like, oh, well, she doesn't seem to understand that this is the case, but I think this is the case, and blah.
I remember that. Like, the idea of, we could just speak to these people and explain to them that, no, Batman's cape isn't like that because they're covering his ass out of sexism.
Say again, sorry?
Oh, her argument was that Batman's cape was long because they need to cover the man ass.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The idea was that if we could just speak to these people, we could make them understand.
That was wrong.
That was very, very wrong. Skiki's been around for 6 months. Thank you very much, sir. Was the game review really worth it in the end? I bet a few people don't think so anymore. And hi, Boomer and Swede.
You ignorant slut.
Yeah, I mean, you got to ask them, haven't you? So was it worth it?
I mean, that was the thing. Like, they had an audience that loved what they did, who came to them for information, almost religiously so. Like, we used to... not worship necessarily, but we placed the people who worked in the game industry on a plinth. Like, wow, you get to do video games all day and you get to tell me what video games are good? I like you. And then they were like, good, you're a racist now. What? What does this have to do with Gran Turismo 3?
Yeah. By the way, did you know that women are being discriminated against in video games? Like, I don't care.
There are women in video games?
Exactly. What? Where?
Yeah, please. I haven't seen any. Sajad, you should look up mom bots. Where are they now? Article on the anti-GG personalities. It's fairly odd but fascinating read.
That's a great idea. We should let me find it.
And Al Malone, why don't Europe just do a Rhodesia 2.0? Save up money, buy massive African land, and bully the locals so they don't give you issues. Defending your home means nothing if your people don't value it.
Oh, where are they? Where is it? I can't find it.
You ignorant slut.
I'm still looking for this. So, here we go.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
Marked shamed Arch, how many issues of Islander do you have? I do not, to my shame, have any Islander issues.
Why not?
Because
really good.
I have rejected print media in favor of my tablet.
Yeah, but these are really
Service
good.
guarantees
Okay, I can't find Monbots. Where are they now?
Well, the sad thing is there's very few left. Or they're doing, like, conspiracy videos or crazy shit.
Heresy's the
Yeah.
question. Fire
that's
is
true.
the answer.
I saw Harmful Opinions had gotten kicked out of a conference for allegation of sexual abuse the other day.
Paddy?
Yeah, and that was just like a moment like, I remember that guy. Did he touch somebody?
Heresy's the question.
Well, it's like Gonzalo Lira
Answer.
getting killed in fucking Ukraine, isn't it? It's like,
Yes.
what,
Like
that
Coach
guy?
Red Pill died under the
Yeah,
auspices of the
Jesus.
Ukrainian military police. Like, how the fuck?
Kind of mad when you think about it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Maybe don't chat shit about Ukraine when they're at war with Russia and you're in their country. Genius.
It's an idea. Sir Jar, Jim Sterling got a feminist girlfriend. The grotesque, overly calorie-laden, hairy caricature of feminists. Yeah, Stephanie Sterling did... Stephanie Sterling probably did take the hardest left-wing turn.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. I mean, it's difficult to believe that she believes what she's saying, right?
And I don't know if I'll blame it entirely on her, because Sterling was always... I mean, he has a wrestling persona when he dresses up in a body condom to wrestle other men, so I think there was always something there.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Heresy's the question.
I'm just saying, any
Fire
man who
is the
dresses like
answer.
this for fun, there's probably something there already. Probably. Our worded comedy was under attack at the same time. I got red pill because of it. Can listen to podcasts of the day and the crazy shit that was going on there. Shane Gilson was cancelled for offensive jokes. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I grew up on the racial comedy of mostly black comedians who took the piss out of everyone. Whites, Asians, blacks, everyone. And that brought a lot more people together under the auspices of, yeah, we can
Heresy's the
all
question.
screw with one
Fire is
another.
the
There are no
answer.
sacred cows here.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah, no, it was hilarious. And it genuinely did far more to solve any racist problems we had than
You
100
ignorant
years
slut.
of DEI.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, what good was that for anyone?
Yep. Turns out that mud wrestling one another is a far more binding experience than any amount of sanctimonious
I have
bullshit.
lost. Shit.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Marksman 117B. Be better people is weak Star Trek Federation talk.
That's true.
Yep. Being young is looking at Star Trek and thinking, wouldn't that be nice? And growing up is service guarantees citizenship.
No, it really is. Like, it really, really is. Like, the great thing is, like, the ideological position of our side just hardened into what it genuinely, in its core, believed, but was prepared to be soft on and prepared to give on. It's like, no, we've given far too much. No, service guarantees citizenship. You do your work, you get your just desserts. That's how the world ought to work, and that's how we're going to make it work.
Yep. Because for the longest time, we were like, okay, you want this thing? I mean, I guess, okay, here you can have it. And then they took a bit more, and yeah, that doesn't actually work in the long run.
No.
Dark Resurrect. Japan learned this lesson in the 1940s. Do not wake the sleeping giant. The Marxists awoke the gaming autists. We just wanted our escapism, and then they invaded it.
It didn't have to be this way, but it was this way, so...
Yep. This is literally why I chose that for today's thumbnail. Like, why did you have to do this?
Actually. Oh, yeah, no, it's genuinely... Again, no... I'm way beyond the idea of sympathy for these people. You get what you deserve.
Yeah, I just want to play video games.
Yeah. Next time you'll leave us alone, won't you?
Belial, they didn't make the bed. They took a steaming crap in it, like Amber did Johnny. Now they get railed on it by 18 inches spiked horse dongs.
Something like that, yeah.
Such is the world you made. Zalaxon Doppelganger. GG may have saved America, but Sargon will probably have to FPS in real life to save the UK. We take a stance against such things in Star Wars England.
Yeah, no. But, you know, things can't go badly forever, I think. So I guess we'll see.
Oh, God. The EU's response to the lightest of critique from America the last few weeks, though. Holy shit. Like, okay, yeah, we'll accept an infinite number of immigrants ruining the web of our very society. We will deconstruct our culture day by day, no problems. But America goes, listen, you gotta build an army. We're like, no! We refuse!
I didn't actually hear what you were saying there, but I can get the gist of it. Yeah, the EU... well, the thing is, the EU just genuinely feel under siege at the moment. Because as far as they're concerned, there's no difference between Trump and Putin.
Yeah.
I put up a video about it today, actually, going through the philosophy of it, and in a way, they're kind of right.
Well, it is, but it's just a superpower being a superpower.
No, it's more than that, right? So remember, they view themselves as the inheritors of the rules-based order of the post-war consensus. So from like 1948 onwards, where you get, it wasn't the EU then, but it's like the foundational building blocks of the EEC and stuff like this. They are building what they view to be a new kind of politics, and the US is kind of on board with this. It's like, yeah, no, we want an international rules-based order as well, and we'll call it NATO for the power alliance, and it'll be under the auspices of the UN, and we'll all sit there and we'll have our little Star Trek future, right? And that's great if that's doing what people want it to do. But suddenly it starts not doing what people want to do. And suddenly it looks itself like it's oppressive. And then you've got, like, you know, people who are like the old style great men of history, like, you know, the Carlylean great men of history, like Vladimir Putin. Now, people are like, oh, you're saying he's great. No, I'm saying he's influential, right? I'm not saying he's good. I'm saying he's powerful, because he is powerful. And it seems to be him that's in control, right? And these people are operating on ego, basically, right? These people aren't operating on like the rational set of rules that both parties can agree to in the Kantian formulation in the Kingdom of Ends. What they do is, no, I want this. I'm strong enough to take it, and therefore I'm going to. This isn't the way that the EU wants to work. And so the EU go, oh no, this is far right. Dictator. But the thing is, Trump is that kind of man as well. Trump is one of those sort of Carlylean great men of history, which is, you can see it, he's like, no, we're going to make Canada the 51st state, we're going to have Greenland, we're going to have Panama, we're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And so the EU is looking at the same kind of politics on either side of its flanks now. And so they feel under siege and they feel afraid, because in a way they're right. It is the kind of end of the post-war consensus that they're witnessing in real time.
I think that's kind of, yeah, no, like what I said, like superpower being a superpower. And it's also one of the reasons why I think the EU is acting so like hysterical towards it is because of the general fetishization the left has of the outgroup, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is why we will be able to accept almost any excess from immigrant populations, or even like foreign nations like Turkey threatening us with more immigrants, and we always, oh, you know,
yeah,
I'll accept that.
Or giving Iran money not to develop nukes. It's like, sorry, you think they're not going to develop nukes if we give them money?
Yes. And yet,
what?
When our closest ally for decades and decades and decades goes, we're gonna have to start thinking of ourselves.
Yeah.
Suddenly, it's screeching outrage. And like Vance's speech wasn't even that harsh. He points out real problems. The EU has a democracy problem. Yeah, you tried to ban AFD. You tried to intervene in Romania's elections recently. You're constantly trying to intervene in the Hungarian re-elections.
Yeah.
You are not democratic. You have tons of problems with freedom of speech. And again, true. There's no way around it.
Well, yeah, you are right. He's completely correct. But there are two very different conceptions of the world that are being demonstrated there, right? Like, because Vance wasn't even going hard. Like you say, he wasn't going hard. But what he was signaling to them was like, look, we actually care about the thing itself rather than the rules that govern the thing, right? So the rules that govern the thing for the EU are way more important. It's like, yeah, freedom of speech, but, right? Freedom of speech, except if it starts to impinge on the other rules, right? We will put limits on freedom of speech. Vance is like, yeah, but freedom of speech is in the person. You know, the right is in the person. It's not in the rule. And so when he goes, no, you're all fucked on freedom of speech, they suddenly go, oh, shit, this is the sort of thing Vladimir Putin would say. Do you see the CNN woman who was like, the Holocaust was caused by free speech?
Yep.
To fucking Rubio. It's like, what? Like, how the fuck? I mean, she's a professional. This is her job, full-time job. She gets paid, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to sit there and fucking on TV go, yeah, the Holocaust is caused by free speech. Now, what do you say to that, Marco Rubio? And he's just like, no, that's completely wrong. That's obviously not true. No one thinks that because that's mad. Why are you mad? Like, but that's literally what they think. And so it's like, right, okay, what do you say?
And also, like, a lot of this comes from a position where they don't know what they're saying. Like, this woman can put forward this ridiculous notion because she has a hole in her timeline there, where it's like, okay.
I thought you were saying her brain.
Oh, that too. But in the left-wing mind,
answer.
1918 comes around. First World War ends. And then there's nothing happened for like 20 years. And then suddenly World War II. It's like, no, it's not quite how that worked out.
Yeah, no, that's not how that works, actually, CNN hosts. But yeah, anyway, the point being is they've got it is a different conception of what the world ought to be. And they're viewing in real time how Trump and Putin actually have quite a similar conception of the world. They're just on different teams. And so they're freaking out about it.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
Gum, 1988 on Rumble. Thank you very much for the 10. I just want to grill, shoot guns, play games, and paint small army men. I went from voting for Obama twice to voting for Trump 3 times and distrusting everything the federal agencies say. Yep.
Yeah, good man. But the thing is, like, we've all had that same journey. Because, like, remember that Twitter used to be branded as the free speech wing of the free speech party, right? Twitter, Democrats, the left, used to be where we are now, right? And, like, if you look at Bill Clinton's manifesto from, like, 1996 or whatever it is, it's all good. Like, it's basically Trump now, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that at some point the left went totally fucking bonkers, and here we are, this is where we are.
Yeah, and there is a genuine danger that we will simply just commit all the same errors of the left, because whenever a political party grows too comfortable with its position of power, it starts doing stupid shit.
Very true.
That is something to look out for. M93, please put on Rucker Ali Sargon song.
It's probably...
William Silver, the founder of The
Heresy's
Escapist,
the
Alexander
question.
Marsis,
Fire
was
is the
sympathetic to
answer.
GG, went off to be the head of Milo's business before it got cancelled, and is now a TTRPG maker of Adventure Conquer King system.
Oh, really?
That is a journey.
Yeah. Well, good for him. I hope he's doing well.
But I'm on Stargard and Streamlabs. I wrote a 30-page...
Just a quick thing. If I recall correctly, Macris was a libertarian. So no wonder he was sympathetic.
Baron Stargard. I wrote a 30-page paper on Otto von Bismarck in college using zero punctuation as my primary background noise. Had the mighty have fallen.
Well, you know, we've all been there, haven't we?
And Steel Manning. Carl, I found your channel back in the Sarkeesian days. Your channel was the first to make me realize I wasn't alone in my observation of progressives.
I'm glad to hear that, man. A lot of people say that to me.
Caps Lock 3. Bread and circus. Do not mess with them. True.
Yeah. Don't. Just why did you do any of this?
Right. Speaking of, I want to hear this woman existential threat, because Ozzy, this is one of those positions I have the least sympathy for. I remember Vorsh had this too. Like, I check my YouTube channel every day, fearing it'll be gone. Like, welcome to our world.
Yeah, we've been like this since 2014, Vorsh. So no sympathy whatsoever.
Like, we've been in survival mode for a decade. We're used to it.
Yeah.
Let's see here then.
Employees asking us to report 5 things that we accomplished last week. I'm not worried about my 5 things. I have plenty of things to report. I did plenty of work last week. But the feeling of just like absolute existential dread that I felt typing out a response to that email is something that I wish I could convey to everyone, because...
Oh, don't worry. we know, but it's like, okay. And the whole reaction to this, right? So this is one of those weird, how do I put it? Like, weird expectations, or more like entitlements, I suppose, that people have developed the last few years, where you are like, they closed up the game studio was working on Wonder Woman. I forget the name of it. They hadn't produced anything for 8 years. Nothing.
Why?
They've been working on Wonder Woman, I guess, for just nearly a decade. And then people are still, like, shocked they got fired. And, like, you have gone and collected a paycheck for 60 months and you have produced nothing.
I can't even imagine.
Like, you're shocked they let you go?
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Like,
yeah, like it is just such a foreign way of thinking. Like, you have produced
the question.
nothing, and you just expect the paycheck to come in every month without question. Like, you understand there needs to be money in the company first for them to pay you?
Yeah. That is mad. That is just mad.
And this is the same thing. Like, there's an email getting sent out like, okay, what did you do last week? All right, what did you do last week? It's not a particularly difficult question, especially not if you have a regular job. If you're doing like 9 to 5, yeah, you'll have done loads of things last week. And yet they react as if this is some kind of personal attack that's just unthinkable. What do you mean you're asking me what have I done for the paycheck I've received?
Yeah, the shocking entitlement.
Yeah. Like, that is the problem. Okay, you know how in the US, largely you can fire people for virtually any reason. It's very easy to fire people in the US. It's not here in Europe, by the way.
No.
However, did you also know that federal employees have carved out a whole host of rules specifically for themselves that makes it far harder to fire them?
Oh, did they? Interesting.
Yes, they did.
Who could have imagined that they have a personal carve-out?
It's strange how that happens.
Very interesting.
So yeah, no, federal employees have a whole host of specific things where they have to have, like, particular reasons or you can't fire them. So they made sure they would get their bag. And that leads to people then going, what do you mean you're asking me what I did? I sat here watching YouTube videos like I do every week.
yeah. Fuck these people.
Because it felt like such a glimpse into the reality that they are trying to create.
Yeah, the reality we've been living through.
The reality of you must do work.
But like the perennial feeling of fear and the constant labor that we have to do. And I'm not trying to complain about being.
I have lost. Oh shit!
You cut out there.
and every day I wake up and I'm afraid they've just deleted my channel for no reason and there's nothing I can do to get it back. So yeah, that's what we live under. You know, don't get me wrong, we made the choice. I'm not complaining. I love my life, I love my job and everything. But it's not like that's not a real thing. That's totally a real thing.
You know. And again, also, genuinely, YouTube is an excellent job to teach you a very simple lesson, that if you don't do anything, you won't get anything. A lesson that far too many governmental employees and employees in general seem to have forgotten and or ignored.
Heresy's the question. Fire
What
is
is
the
going
answer.
on?
Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit. Is your internet fine?
Well, I mean, my internet's fine, but for some reason the Discord connection seems to be a bit funny. I don't know why, but I'm just gonna. So, what did you say there? I missed it.
Yeah, try to leave the room and rejoin it. That might fix it.
I just did, yeah.
Did you? I didn't even see that.
Heresy's the question.
Let me
Fire is
redo
the
my
answer.
connection too. And hopefully that's better.
Okay.
But you know, I just said that YouTube is actually an excellent job to teach you that if you don't do anything, you don't get anything.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's
Question.
like YouTube
Fire
is just
is the
merit
answer.
based. There's no getting around it. You've
Unless
got to
you're
do the
Hassan
work,
Piker.
and everyone's got to like it. And if you don't, then you die.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not that YouTube's algorithm isn't brutal or anything. It is.
Yep, but again, it teaches you unironically many valuable lessons, and life is often not fair, and you will probably get dicked,
Service
and you
guarantee
still just
sponsorship.
got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, this was a work ethic that was entirely normal, just like
Yeah.
like 50, 60 years ago. It's like, okay, you
Not
got
even
up
that
in the
long
morning.
ago.
Yeah. You get up in the morning, you go to work. If not, you don't get food.
This has been the work ethic I've had instilled into me my entire life.
Yeah. It's like, we're not even 100 years out from the time when people used to be deathly grateful of even having employment.
Yeah.
I have lost.
And it was terrifying. It felt like you will do what I say or else.
Yes. Yes, you will do the job you are being
Oh,
paid to do.
You've closed the stream.
Oh, God damn it. Because I rejoined. There we go.
Yeah. There we go.
But yeah, she just said it's terrifying that she has to justify receiving a paycheck. It's like,
What? Why? Why would I even?
yeah, far too many people just seem to think employment is a right now. You know?
And no, things. No. Employment implies you are doing something productive, right? Like, it implies you validate what you do by actually doing some goddamn work. That's not what this person thinks, right? This person thinks I'm just entitled to it by mere the fact of my existence.
Yes. I deserve a paycheck for no other reason than because I exist.
Yeah.
The email that we received did not say that failure to respond would be taken as a resignation, but the post on X did say that. And leadership at my agency is pretty much like, the email's authentic, but we don't know if the threat is or is not. We are going to respond, but kind of left it up to each of us to decide what to do.
It's like that too. Like, this is one of those weird bureaucracy things, right? Where there's an email going, "Hey, what did you do?" And even like the leadership of the company is like, "Oh yeah, you don't need to like respond to that."
Why would you say that? Elon Musk is literally going to fire you if you don't respond.
Yeah, and they're suing now because again, federal employees have carved out a whole bunch of special protections for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But the very idea that, like, at the very least, the bosses should be like, okay, but just tell him what you did last week, I guess. Make something up, if nothing else.
Yeah, just fucking lie. I mean, well, he's not going to check. Because the thing is, there are 3.5 million federal employees, something like that. He's not going to check. Like, the point is that you were paying attention to your fucking emails. You know, that's what this is for.
And there's also...
Ignorant slut.
Okay. This is something I only learned about existing like a few days ago. There is
Do you wanna
something
check-
called a mouse wiggler.
Well, I know what this does.
Exactly. I didn't even know this was a thing, but no, there's a whole
Neither
host
did
of
I.
devices that exist solely for the purpose of moving your cursor across your screen. And this is because a lot of governmental agencies and big tech firms are actually monitoring whether or not your mouse is moving, because they
Yep.
figured that means that you're doing something.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when Elon says that he's not actually sure that the people he's sending emails to even are at their desks and doing anything, that is actually a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
There could genuinely be a substantial number of governmental employees who are just not actually at their desk.
Oh, we know there are. I mean, look, this is what work from home is such a big problem with.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, no, we can't have this. You know, you can't just be like, I'm just going to sit at home and fucking, oh yeah, I'm working from home today. No, you can't have
Service
that.
guarantees
Yep.
citizenship.
I'm sorry, you can't be trusted.
Yeah. You work for the government. You cannot be trusted.
Oh, yeah, there you go, chat.
I have lost.
Now you two know that this is a whole thing.
I had no idea.
I mean, neither. I was shocked. Like, mouse wiggler? What the fuck would you use that for? Oh.
Skiving. That's what, yeah.
We have received more emails about all of the fucking bullshit going on with DOGE and Elon and all of this federal employee stuff that like I've spent more time in the last couple of weeks navigating these emails, going to these town hall meetings, going to these other meetings, making sure that so that the leadership can break down what's happening and tell us how we need to respond and tell us what the fuck is going on and tell us, oh, you might lose your job because when your FTE runs, like there's so many things that they're having to convey to us. And so nothing that actually should normally be getting done and accomplished is being done or accomplished.
Probably a good thing.
Woman.
I don't want them doing things.
Yeah,
Like,
but
the less a government does, the better.
also, like, this is exactly the problem, isn't it? Like, if you need to go to meetings all day, you need to go to town halls. You gotta spend the whole workday informing yourself about the meaning of the sentence. Respond to this email, or you get fired. Something is very broken.
Yeah.
It's not cryptic language. Write down 5 things you did. Send email.
Yeah. It's not like
Maybe the bureaucratic drone has gotten so far that
But
unless...
again, this
I have lost.
it was just a test to see if they were paying attention to their fucking emails.
Yeah. And even then, that requires apparently lectures and fucking town halls and like seminars to explain.
Apparently.
Burn it all. Burn it all.
Yeah, totally.
Accomplished because we're all so busy fucking trying to navigate this hellscape that is happening. That is waste. That and the fact that the studies we work on, if we are worried that they might be considered, something that will lose funding, what's the point in working on it now? And has the last...
Because it's your job.
Yeah. It's literally what you're paid to do.
Yeah. Until you have your own revenue stream, just do what you're told, I guess.
Yeah. Like, yeah, literally, what were we even discussing here? Do your job.
last year, 2, 3 years of work we've done on it been for naught? Like, that's wasteful. Like, this...
You're right. Your shitty programs should have been cancelled sooner. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Listen, I've spent 3 years studying whether turnips can feel pain. You're just going to cancel my project? Sorry, I guess.
No sympathy whatsoever.
This whole thing is an exercise for them to show us how much power they have and how little we have. And
again, like, yes, they are your employer. They do have all the power over you. Like, that's just kind of... We thought that was
they-
obvious.
They literally employ you. You are the employee. What now? What are we talking about here? What are we doing? What are you asking for?
I desire to have more power than the person who pays me. Like, oh.
Yeah, no.
And how
Fired.
we must do what they say. And it's so insane because, again, who the fuck is Elon? Like, and how does he get...
He is the guy who's been instructed by the president to fix the problem. That's who he is.
Yep. I mean, if you're asking for his credentials, he's the richest man on Earth who's trying to explore space right now.
But has taken it upon himself to save America from its own bureaucracy before he does this.
Whilst he's figuring out how to go to Mars, he's decided to dedicate 5% of his brain power to figuring out whether or not you work or not. And it turns out all it took was an email, so...
Just shrug, you know? Like, what more do you need?
He gets to tell us the 2 million people that are going to have to respond to this email if they choose to.
Yeah.
I was like, again, 2 million fucking people.
Well, no. 1 million, there's 3 million. 1 million already responded. She's speaking in the wake of 2 million who still haven't.
Are they going to go through 2 million emails to make sure that they were honest, to make sure that they were authentic, to make sure that the items listed out were relevant to the people's jobs, to make sure that the person, like, there's so many things that would have to happen.
They're not going to do any of that.
Yeah, they're probably not. It's really simple. It's the lowest possible bar. Tell me 5 things you did, send it in, and we'll just check you off.
It's literally just respond to this email.
Yes.
That's really what it is. Just
if you don't
to this
respond,
email.
we assume you're not there.
Yeah, which is a totally fair assumption.
And for them to, like, actually legitimately go through these emails, and that's not going to happen because it just, like, it can't happen, you know? And
also, though, okay, right. Are you telling me that the federal government, who employs 3 million people, couldn't check these papers? Because if you are, boy, do I have news to you when it comes to the federal tax collection services.
Yeah. That's a great point. They're hot on things when they want to be.
Like, we can't possibly check 3 million emails, but 300 million tax returns. Oh, we're fucking on that, baby.
Yeah. Fuck
We're
these
checking
people.
every comma.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing as well. Yeah, you fucked up here. It's like, oh, Jesus, have I? Fucking okay.
And again, like, it's just a flex. It's just, you need to know who's in charge, and this is one of the ways we're making you aware.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
And the feeling that I felt responding to that email was such a glimpse into a possible future here, a probable future here, if we don't fucking do something about it.
Of efficiency. A probable future of people doing their fucking jobs.
A probable future of being required to commit to labor for my paycheck. Oh, no.
Incredible. Future of not sitting around doing nothing.
Where am I going to look up my beauty tips on YouTube? At home?
Yeah.
It felt so scary and so heartbreaking. It felt much like I would imagine living in a place like what I always imagined North Korea to be like would be.
Yes.
She thinks North Korea is like the private sector.
Well, not even the private... Like, she literally is sitting there already with a bunch of special privileges that she's carved out for herself in protection against being fired. And all she's being asked to do is make up 5 fucking... to respond to an email. She's like, this is literally North Korea.
Yeah.
Oh
It's the end of the world. I can't imagine anything worse.
This is why the children yearn for the mines, okay?
Yeah.
This is why children need to be sent to a fucking coal mine for a month whilst they grow up, just so they can look back upon it.
I bet she left university and just went straight into the federal government as well.
Oh, yeah. And probably with the understanding and plan that once she was in the door, she was just going to live there as a tick for the rest of her life.
Yeah, 100%. Like, she thought she would retire in the federal government.
Yeah, like, that's why a lot of people get into the federal government, because of all those protections. Like, it's the job security is, you just exist there until you retire.
Yeah. Yeah, well, 100%.
North Korea, like, this woman has in all due likelihood never done a day's labor in her life. Like, and I mean labor, okay? Now, I'm a YouTuber. Right now, I'm a prissy fuck. But as a kid, I did actual, like, logging work, okay? Walking through the fucking forest. I walked through brambles till my fucking legs bled. I had to wring blood out of my fucking socks. And I was paid fucking nothing for that. But it was a job. It was something. I was saving up for a fucking bike. And, well, not a lot of people were willing to hire a fucking child, basically, to save up for a bike, so,
Yeah. Like, we've all done it. Like, I used to work in a fucking dairy factory. And the whole thing, it was 10-hour shifts or 12-hour shifts, like 4 days a week. And the whole thing just smelt like puke the whole time, right? Just this pervasive smell of puke in the air, and it was cold as well. So if you had 12 hours, everything had to be chilled, obviously. So it's this cold, vomitous smelling area. And I think I probably worked there for a month in total, and it was a rough month, man. It was a rough fucking month.
Oh yeah,
like, and that was only because I was on the school. It was on like a holiday between leaving sixth form and going to university, so it's just like, okay, well, I may as well do something while I'm here, right? And so that's what I did before I went to uni. It was like, oh, God, I hate it. But I didn't hate it, actually. I didn't hate it. It was just, looking back, it's like, God, that was not great.
Yeah. The thing is, you need this experience of what labor actually is.
Yeah.
Because it will shape you. It will shape your entire understanding of the world, which is why this incredibly spoiled, prissy look... I bet you, she spent a couple hours doing her hair and makeup before this.
Oh, yeah.
Is sitting there like, I might have to tell my boss what I did last week. This is North Korea.
Amazing.
Brandon comes in with the amazing 50 there. Thank you very much, Brandon. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have even thought that hard about it. I'd have just pulled up work orders with my name on them for the last week and put together a list.
Yeah. Yeah.
That they're stressing this much is telling. Yes, no, absolutely. Like, again, it's a week. You've done, like, if you have been at your place of employment, you've done 5 things.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine you haven't, right?
Yeah, like, I find it difficult to imagine you haven't done 5 things a day. Like, if you're working like a 9 to fucking 5, you should have plenty of examples.
I mean, yeah, that's a week. You know, it's like a week. Fucking hell, man. I hate to think how many things I do in a week. I'm just always constantly working.
Yes. Like, unironically, the only times I play video games these days is when I stream them, which is half the reason why I do stream them.
Same here. That's exactly what my little pondering channel is for. This is when I'm basically off the clock.
Yep. I just like going online and hanging out with my fucking subscribers. That's what I do.
Yeah,
That's
me
my
too.
liberty
time now.
You ignorant slut.
Be like, where the energy is, yes, master, your wish is my command.
Oh no, I have to do what I've been paid to do, and this guy's my boss. Hard life.
Welcome to employment.
Yeah.
And again, these people that we're reporting to are people that have no expertise outside of, like, tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. They're not asking to, like, check your work, because they probably wouldn't even. I'm sure whatever you do is very technical.
Yeah, I'm sure it's really important.
Yep. They're just asking if you've done anything, that's all.
Yeah.
They don't know anything about the health services that are operated through the federal system or about...
Yeah.
And there's no reason they would, and that's not why they're there.
Yep, that's not the point.
anything, really. And now half of the CDC workforce is gone, and the national park rangers are, like, largely gone. These are people who have worked their lives to have the careers they have, who have gone to school for this, who have built a career over years, decades. And now some man and his very ridiculously young tech bros are taking away the careers of lifelong federal employees.
Yes!
Lifelong
yes! Into
federal
my
employees.
veins! Yes! All of them!
And again, okay, so I got some flack for this take I had, where they are like, this Kate is a park ranger at Voyage National Park, a remote area near the Canadian border. Her job was to protect boaters, campers, and hikers who want to experience some of the most beautiful parts of our state. Musk and Trump fired her on Friday.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I'm sure she's a nice person. I'm sure she did a good job, but...
Yeah, and exactly.
So?
Like, this is all just tugging on your heartstrings. She was fired. All right. Here's the thing. I'm sure she's lovely. I'm sure she did a good job. And I'm sure the boaters and the hikers on the far borders of Canada were very appreciative of her. However, the US is $36 trillion in debt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we afford Kate?
Yeah. And the answer is just no. I'm sure Kate does a lovely person. I'm sure she does a great job. But it's luxury spending, and that's off the table.
Yeah, it is that simple. You have like anyone who has a house budget knows this. If your house budget is in the minus, then you're going to have to go like, well, I'd like to take the Cadbury eggs, but I can't.
Yeah.
You can't have the extra bag of chips. It's literally, it's luxury spending. This isn't necessary. National security does not rest on Kate's shoulders. We can't afford it.
Yeah, it's just off the table.
Simple as. And it is such a basic thing that every person knows this. But when it comes to the government, seemingly we all think they just have infinite money and we can pour it into anything to the point where they don't even need to justify why they fucking get that money.
I have lost.
I mean, at least Kate probably does something.
Yeah, at least Kate actually, seems to do something useful. But even then, sorry.
Yeah.
Just sorry, we can't do that anymore. Can't afford it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'd rather fire you than Kate, but...
Yeah, if it helps. I'd fire you in a heartbeat before I'd fire Kate, but trillions of dollars in debt.
Yep.
People who have devoted their lives to this country, to the government, who have taken the oath.
Have you, though? Have you? I know that sounds good, but have you, though? Is collecting a paycheck committing yourself to the country?
Yeah.
Like, you're not taking a bullet in Afghanistan here.
Yeah, having trouble believing it, frankly.
We all take an oath to the Constitution. That's not just for military and for people in politics. That's for all federal employees.
It's for leeches, too.
Service guarantees citizenship.
And people take it really seriously.
Do you, though? Do you believe in oaths? Do you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what god did you swear the oath before? That's the easiest question to answer, right? You can answer that. Which god? The answer is none, right?
In all due likelihood.
Yeah.
Things get done. Things continue on, and things are happening because people are doing their jobs. There are people all over the place that are not doing their jobs everywhere all the time. That is certain. And
okay. But
Really? People not doing their jobs. Interesting.
does not, that extends surely into people that work for the federal system, but everything that's happening is not because they don't think we do work. It's because they want to say, we have power over you. And that is a feeling that everybody should fear feeling when the people in charge of the place you live start to exercise that power in a way that there's no like real reason for outside of you will know who's in charge here. Like, I am the captain now is the energy. That's terrible.
Okay. They've been utterly explicit, right? The US is going bankrupt.
yes.
Trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. Money, like the debt clock is just the most preposterous thing I've ever seen in my life. So you look at it and you go, okay, what is this? You know, this is not going anywhere. Yeah, like, what? Why are you firing people? No, fuck off. Like, this is just come on. Like, you're just doing it to exercise power. It's like, let's assume they are, but you still have to go because you cost money. That's why.
Yeah, like the out of all of these crazy absurd numbers here, the one you need to pay attention to is simply this one: interest on debt.
Yeah.
$1 trillion of just more money you have to pay because of how much debt there is.
Yeah. Preposterous. It is preposterous.
And this is the United States, which should, by all rights, be the wealthiest nation on the face of the earth, and it's $36 trillion in debt. This is crazy, and it needs to end. And no, just simply allowing 3 million federal employees to sit around farting all day, it's not going to fix it.
And no amount of emotional appeals is going to change our minds on this.
Yeah, no. Math, unfortunately, just doesn't care.
Yeah, it's literally just about the numbers at this point, love. You know, it's absolutely nothing personal. Don't know who you are. Don't care who you are. You need to get fired.
Yep. It turns out that we can't afford this, and the DOGE clock is the only thing that matters. Saving money is the only thing that matters now.
Yeah.
And hey, DOGE hasn't been perfect either. It has fired people who it shouldn't have, and because they don't have the expertise to understand the entirety of the federal government. Sure, there's going to be bugs, unquestionably. But the time...
Elon copped to that the other day, didn't he, in a meeting?
Yeah. But the simple fact is, the time to do this very carefully, slowly, and subtly was about 20 years ago. Okay.
Oh, probably more than that. But yeah, I get your point.
Yeah, we're not there anymore. It's just not an option.
I have
The
lost.
hacksaw has got to come out. It's like literally, as you sit here watching chat, the interest on the debt alone is going to be over what you earn in a fucking month. It's numbers the likes of which you can't even fucking imagine.
Yeah. That's really what it is. It's just absurd numbers, you know,
Yes.
like.
And so we're going to have to fire Kate.
Yeah.
We're going to have to fire 1,000 Kates. And we're going to have to fire quite a few of these as well.
Yeah.
And I think we'll benefit from it. Again, let's go back to the oath for a moment, because what I find interesting is like we take the oath very seriously. What is the oath? The oath is your dedication of service to a greater entity. And then that is followed up with, oh my god, the person above me thinks he's above me.
Yeah, I can't believe there's a hierarchy in this federal government. Okay, I don't know why.
Remind me, who did you swear your oath to? Yourself?
Yeah.
Kate swears to Kate
straightforward to me.
to extract as much money from the federal government as Kate can.
Yeah. I don't even know why you're surprised by this.
I genuinely want to talk to this person and be like, okay, but you understand that you have a boss. You understand that that boss gives you your orders. Like, what is your objection to this situation? Because I think, honestly, a lot of this is just entrenched political biases of the idea that we're all equal and there's no hierarchy, etc. It's like, that's just not how this works.
Yeah, no, that's not how this works. I mean, any organization like a government is expressly hierarchical.
Yeah. And you are hired to perform a service for that hierarchical organization. A service that will, by necessity, have to benefit us more than your paycheck is.
Yeah. Well, that's why are you here?
It's one of the, again, the things that people just don't understand, which is absolutely ridiculous to me, which you see in game development when they spend 8 years doing nothing and they're shocked Pikachu face when they fire. It's like, there's no money. There's actually no money. Where are you going to draw your paycheck from?
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. What, like, it's like, what do you say to these people? They don't understand. Money doesn't just get, fall out of the sky. It's like, okay, no, it doesn't. Things have to be earned. Now what?
Yeah, it's like, oh, but we were working on something we thought was important. Did it earn anything? No.
What, your suntan? I don't believe you. I don't believe any of these people. Are like, oh, we work really hard. No, I don't believe you. I don't. There's no incentive in a government bureaucracy to work hard. There's just no reason to.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just literally no reason to do it. So why do you think I would believe that?
Yeah. And again, like this reminds me back to the nonsense about female and male football players.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where they were looking at like men being paid more, and then you see like, okay, how many people show up to a male football match? Like 20,000 fucking people.
Yeah.
All right. How many show up to the women's match? 20.
Yeah.
All right. Well, problem solved.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Again, it's just the eternal law of supply and demand has fooled us again, says the feminist. And it's like, well, yeah, that's life.
Get back to me, I guess, when male models start earning as much as female ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. But again, I was really worried that DOGE would do nothing because it simply wouldn't have the penetrative power to get into governmental agencies and do what needed to be done.
Yeah, but they were really clever.
They were.
Really clever.
They used the bureaucracy against itself as they just looked into it like, hey, Obama's actually already created a governmental entity that has the power to get into every other entity.
You ignorant slut.
We're repurposing this, boys.
And it's such a beautiful piece of irony as well. Oh, hey, you created this abuse of power. It's in our hands now.
And the thing is, right, it's not that the libertarian argument didn't have merit either. Like, that was always what the libertarians would say. Well, what about when your enemies get it? And they were, no, what about when your enemies get it? Okay, now they have it.
Mm-hmm. What
now?
You're crying.
Exactly. Now they're fucking destroying you.
Oh,
so
no.
it's like, oh, okay.
This rod I had created for my own back is beating me.
Yes. That's really what's happening.
Well, shit.
It's true.
And especially
it's totally true.
Russian garbage human here responds to the thread with, exactly.
I love getting up this early.
We
because the
all
sunrise
saw
is
these
so beautiful.
insane things about people working in just the lap of fucking luxury and not even doing anything for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And these are the private sector ones as well. This is like being at Google and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I work at Twitter. It's the same when Elon took over Twitter. It was like, I'm living in the end of history and I barely do anything. I get up, I get to the office at 9 o'clock, and then at 11 o'clock I go for a sunbathe or something like that. And then at 2 o'clock I have a meeting and do a little bit of work. And then at 4 o'clock I knock off and go home. And I'm thinking, Jesus, you lazy pampered shit.
Yeah, so part of the work day I go out and get a facial. Entirely normal.
Come on.
Come back to work for a little bit, get some warm towels and some fucking wine on tap.
Just mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad.
It's a testament to how unfathomably rich Western society has gotten, I guess, that this is employment.
Yeah. That is totally true.
Working in the tech industry. Oh, well, at least she has to take the bus, I guess. Public transport. At least they didn't buy her a car.
Yeah.
Small mercies. Oh, boy. Right. Superchats. Mm-hmm. Draken, Sargon, give me source on where you found this. I tried to dig up from where this came from. What?
I was just floating around on Twitter.
Oh, the woman? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of angry women right now. The last question. Aha, Carl, did you ask for a Solzhenitsyn quote?
Solzhenitsyn.
Solzhenitsyn.
Yeah. If you know what the origin of it is, that'd be great. Russian. I mean, because the thing is, you can never be sure. Even on like Goodreads and stuff, a lot of the quotes just aren't real. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, right, okay.
Squatchhammer Arch, did you get to learn the Colombian donkey tradition in school? No? I don't think I'd want to, either. I'm warmed off. 10 Nick, who radicalized you? Exactly. You did.
Yeah.
Raven's been over for 14 months. I missed the time when the biggest argument I had was, ew, you play Alliance. They suck. Horde for life. Yep.
And I'm just going to go grab a drink quickly. I'm back in a sec.
Yep. Mercenex anyone, my workday consists of me working 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Yeah, it's a pretty harsh workday. Belial, most gamers that they are attacking are used to being dehumanized and bullied. We grew up when gaming was lame, and we found refuge. They sent their hounds into our caves to drive us off. Yeah, and that was also why we were so vulnerable, because we were open to it. Somebody new came into our hobby and went, I'd like to try this. This seems fun. We were like, oh yeah, of course. Come in. And then they slipped a shiv in between our ribs. Unfortunate that. Steel Manning, you could have just left us in COD voice chats. UM536 vids, they kept fragging their allies, and now the ones who survived are adopting their tactics because it appears to have worked. Yeah. Oh, and ironically, I come across the fallen sword of my enemy and remember how well it cut me, and thinks, yeah, I think I'll use this now. Sean King, did you guys ever figure out what I'm supposed to paint my Sternguard veterans for my Dark Angels army? Regular Dark Angel colors. Maybe with the white helmet, if you want to nod, but I think the white is specifically for the Terminators. I think. Frog Jupiter, good news. Hamas Piker moved out of America. Really? Let's see. Piker news. Hassan Piker. I can't see anything about it, so who knows? Frog Jupiter, bad news. Hamas Piker moved into Japan. Well, I'm sorry, Japan. Uncle Shio, GamerGate destroyed the liberal world order. He's dented it quite severely. Mr. Richard Frenzy, a question for both of you. Soup or salad? Also, are soup and salad considered slop?
Service guarantees citizenship.
Well, no. Not so long as it's just like soup. But if you have soup with, ramen, I'd consider ramen slop. Depends a little bit on the type of ramen, but, this, slop. Definitely slop. It's just stuff in a bowl. Sesame seeds, mushrooms, noodles, goop, things. Definitely slop. But just soup isn't slop. It's just soup. Soup. Insane hippie saying, America and Europe do not have the same values, Arch. We have similar values, and it has been that way since America's founding. Well, same as in exactly one-to-one? Probably not. But same as in on a global scale? Yes. The differences are probably larger between American states, in many cases, than it is within many, European countries. The differences are minor compared to the rest of the world.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Would you consider soup slop?
No.
That's what I figured. Would you consider ramen slop?
No.
Really?
Well, I mean, you know what it is. It's just noodles, right?
Heresy's the question.
Well, no, the
Fire is the
ramen,
answer.
proper ramen, has dozens of things in the soup.
No, it's fine. It's more about the sort of intention, right? So it's fine to mix up foods.
Heresy's the question. Fire is
but
the answer.
it's kind of the intention behind it, why it's being made and who it's being made for. So if that particular bowl of soup looks like a lot of care and effort's gone into it, and someone's going to eat it, themselves, or they're going to give it to someone else to eat, it's not a giant fucking gallon of shit for anyone who comes by. You can't even picture how many people it's going to be.
I'm far more hardline than you in this. Food should never touch. Except for very specific circumstances, like on pizza.
Don't get me wrong, I can understand and respect it. It's just, I'm a lot more slack when it comes to that sort of thing.
Walking corpse. I would never wish curry on my worst enemy. Curry fund. Chat is trying to make me eat curry.
I mean, I don't mind curry, to be honest.
I do. I do mind curry. That's why I tried to ward them off. Like, yeah, pay me $5,000. They're halfway there now. Oh, fuckers. Arch is proud of the fact that in many ways he's a prostitute. He's just gonna have to deal with that label now.
In many ways.
Yeah. Well, chat can force me to eat stuff. Shaman Maclamia, have you heard of the new Last Airbender series? They nuke the setting and world building, and the main character looks like a Tumblr OC with a DEI checklist. She's dark-skinned and purple-haired, cripple.
I have lost.
I have not heard of this, but oh my god. I mean, I probably will watch it. I'll probably hate watch it because I fucking loved Avatar. I mean, everyone did, but like.
Apparently, Korra just destroyed the world. It's just like a shattered, like, Terry Pratchett, like, shattered floating worlds thing now.
Yay.
Like, the first Avatar was excellent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then came Korra, and she had so much promise in the first season, which they all flushed completely down the toilet with their story.
Yep.
And then they just kept doubling down on bad, season after season, until she'd fucked everything up so bad the entire world was teetering on the edge of annihilation.
See, this is like, what was the name of the villain in Amon, right? In the first season of Korra. Amon was a great villain. And like the fact that he was psychologically fucking with Korra the entire time was really good until she was basically losing her mind. Really good. And then it got really fucking lame and gay in the second season. And I was like watching it, it's like, what the fuck is this?
And Amon, too, had this huge failure in him because his entire idea was this is a society that benefits benders and benders only, which it is.
Yeah. It philosophically informed. Like there was a reason to have this.
Yes. Because in this world, being a non-bender fucking sucks. There is virtually no job you can do that a bender can't do better than you.
Yep.
You are a second-class citizen at best.
Yep.
And this guy leans into that and builds an enormous following around that. And it's like, okay, that is a genuine philosophical question. And then in the final episode, he's like, oh no, I was a bender all along. I was just using people.
Fire is the
It was so disappointing.
So disappointing. Like, they took all of that promise and just killed it.
Yeah, like there's a genuinely good, class argument here that's happening. And then it's like, yeah, but actually he's just not, he's just one of them.
Yeah, he was just using you.
Yeah, okay. Don't worry about that.
Us, all of the normal people, like, you're our avatar too. It's like, she's like the most privileged person in your entire universe.
She's ER's. You watch VR's videos on it, right? And he's repeatedly playing, I'm the Avatar, you gotta deal with it.
Yes.
Oh, fucking hell. I'm the Avatar, you gotta deal with it.
And again, at the end, Korra literally made everything worse. Every time, Korra made everything worse. And I even saw like one of the creators going like, why is people so much more willing to forgive Aang? It's because Aang learned from his failures. He grew, he improved. Korra doesn't do shit. She just goes like, yeah, well, deal with it.
Aang wasn't evil, right? that's what it comes down to. Aang, he just wasn't an evil character.
Whilst Korra, like, if she's not intentionally malicious, she sure as fuck is malicious.
Yeah. She feels malicious.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, I didn't mean to destroy everything. Yeah, but the result is still that the village is in rubble.
Yeah.
Such a fucking waste. Such a fucking waste.
Just a really unlikable character. And to be honest with you, that's kind of why I was enjoying Amon in the first series. He was fucking her up. And it was just like, yeah, okay, go Amon,
And again, like, the intro sequence, like, I'm the Avatar and you have to deal with it. Holy shit. And you know it, because she's
I
a
have
child.
lost.
Nobody's ever been mean to her entire life. She's the blessed chosen one. Nobody said anything like you can't be the Avatar. This was entirely to the audience. Look at me. I'm a tiny, fat-bellied brown child. You gotta deal with it.
Yeah, no, that's literally the you got to deal with it bit. That's when you know they're talking to you, the audience.
Yes.
So fuck you. Sick of your shit.
And again, this came from the first Avatar as well, who had excellent fucking villains. I love the shit out of Azula, okay?
Oh, Azula's just one of the best characters, full stop. Like,
Yes.
And so, same as Zuko. Right, Azula and Zuko's relationship and the final battle, and I love that even on her worst day, and even on Zuko's best fucking day, he can't win.
Yes. Because Azula is just that fucking good.
Yeah. And she knows it. And the thing is, she practices. You know, you see her practicing and stuff like that when she's young. And like she knows she's brilliant, and she knows she's really intelligent and really diligent. And she knows Zuko is basically kind of dumb.
Yeah. And she has worked hard, because he's the oldest, and so he gets everything. And she's worked her fucking ass off every day to overthrow him. Mm-hmm. And even
to make his life a living hell.
Yeah, because he represents everything she dislikes. Zuko, too, has innate talent, more so than her. But he's never applied to himself anywhere near as much as she has.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, as well, you can see that Azula, it's this lifetime of being essentially emotionally, not abused necessarily, but kind of is, by the fact that, you know, her father is the Fire Lord and stuff like this, right? Like, you know, she's been given approval for her skill, but she's never been loved.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And, like, you just can't help but feel that if she'd been shown a bit of love as a kid, she wouldn't have turned out this way.
And that's why she's doing this. She's doing this for that approval. She's pushing us. If I can just, I'll invent a new type of fucking firebending. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll capture the Avatar. Then my dad will finally love me. And it's like, nope.
Yeah.
Because even if you say, like, if not mentally abused, then mentally besieged her entire life. Like, Azula's great. And then you get to fucking Korra.
You gotta deal with it.
Such a fucking enormous downgrade.
Yeah.
I have no hope for the new Avatar. Fucking none.
No. There's nothing. No. Why would you? There is no hope to be had. It's going to be shit.
Yep. Let's see. Can I find because there was like a leaked picture that they claim was her, and she's literally like a disabled kid.
Okay. I mean, like, all right.
Damn it, can't find. Oh, there it is. Right. Okay. All right. Let's blow this. Here we go. This is the new Avatar.
Yeah, I don't care that she's disabled. That doesn't bother me. Like, I'm not saying like Toph was disabled, right?
Yeah. And this thing, it's not that. It's not even that Korra was brown. It's that Korra shows up on screen and immediately goes, "I'm the Avatar, and you've got to deal with it."
Yeah.
And I am 98% sure it's going to be the exact same thing here.
Yeah, I agree. You know how it's going to go. And they're going to be fucking insufferable about it.
The Avatar. Right, Brandon, for $20. Thank you very much, Brandon. First time I encountered this was Mass Effect Andromeda, looking for why it was so bad and tripped over SJW stuff. Then fell into a little thing called The Weak and Stupid, and just spiraled from there.
Wow. Let's see.
On SavvyCast. And chat, you're so close. 744 likes. If you can get to 1,000,
Come on,
what
chat.
I can do.
1,000 likes.
Ash Hawk. Demons run when a good man goes to war. Days Vault. Yep. Frog Jupiter. I remember in 8th grade when I watched Sargon for my left-wing position and Hunter Avalone for my right-wing position. How things have changed.
Yeah. Very interesting. What's happened to that guy?
I have no idea. Kamikaze Kid, I've been here since before Sargon was based, back when he was a cringe liberal atheist. No mercy for the woke. We no longer just want to play games.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's totally true.
Now he wants to dismantle the government. I tell you, I wish somebody would dismantle my government.
Dude, I live in England. Like, God, I dream. Dream of the day.
Joseph Pinochet. They forced a bunch of autists to turn into a hive mind decentralized insurgency that could defeat a multi-billion-dollar propaganda campaign with memes and shitposting. Do nothing, win.
Well, again, they could have just left us alone, but...
Yep. They had everything else. Why did they have to come for our video games?
Yeah, that's the point, though, isn't it? They had everything else.
Yep. And they figured that, okay, we'll just conquer this thing. It'll take a weekend. And so said Mussolini as he invaded Greece.
Yeah, no, and ironically, I bet they thought, well, this will just be silly. Like, we won't have to worry about this. Oh, won't you? Okay.
Yeah, we'll just browbeat them. They'll shut up soon enough.
Yeah.
Devo Shadow, his first super chat. Thank you very much, sir. It's a quote from one of the Gulag Archipelago books.
Right. Okay, well, that's good.
Barbarians are us for 20. Thank you very much, sir. I found out I have a large blood clot in my leg. Damn. Oh, I hope you're okay. These streams help to pass the time while I'm waiting in the hospital for blood thinning treatment. Thank you both and keep up the good work. I hope you'll be okay.
Yeah, I hope everything goes all right, man. That sounds terrible.
Hey, you can't mess with that shit. That's dangerous. Dreyfie for another 20, thank you. Early Sargon reminds me of the scene from World War II Churchill film's Darkest Hour, when Churchill is dealing with his cabinet, banging on the desk by loudly declaring, "You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth."
I agree with that. That's true, yeah.
Stooge Red Dot, Carl, Craig wants you on side-scrollers. Arch makes it happen.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, don't you?
No.
Heresy's the
think you
question.
know him.
Fire is the answer.
Craig from Screw Attack from way back in the day.
Oh, I've never seen it.
He has a podcast now called The Side Scrollers. I'm on there every other week. Let's see. He's a lovely guy, and he mentioned he wanted to have you on, so I'll forward you his little Twitter thing if you want to check him out.
Oh, yeah. Send me his Twitter.
There you go.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I'm happy to go on his show sometime.
Yep, he's a lovely lad.
Right, okay, cool.
Frog Jupiter, you will show the feet pics. You'll eat the curry. You will review Linkara's Angel Armor book series. You'll be paid to do so, and you will be happy. I don't know about happy, but... well, this is my way of keeping myself somewhat in line with my audience. So let them make me force me to do things. Unironically, that is one of the genuine fears that I've always had doing YouTube as a profession, to eventually turn into one of those people who's like, I don't care if you unsubscribe. I'm above you, filth.
Yeah. I don't think I'll become that way, but I guess it's always a risk, right?
I mean, so many people, Total Biscuit, I would have considered him a deeply principled person, and he just fucking flew off the handle.
I miss TB.
I know, I do so too.
His was the only video game reviews I actually watched.
Same. Yeah, that was tragic.
Yeah.
Belial, Sargon, things can't go badly forever, right? Me, the Middle East, China, Russia, and North Korea.
Yeah, but we're the West, right? We make things right. Trust us, things can get better.
I have lost.
Belial, so we all used to operate on the Gentleman Agreement, but some new world order types decided to break the agreement, but expecting all sorts to adhere to the agreement even though they aren't. Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's honor is something for other people. You abide by the rules, I make up my own.
Yeah,
And that doesn't make for good societies, strangely enough.
No.
I have lost.
Galaxy Dragon 87 as a Zoomer 23. I just wanted to play game and watch anime. They couldn't leave well enough alone, and they will lose more than they have ever had. Correct. Deadpool Kid, I think the EU is going to eventually lose the influence once America starts flexing their arms for territories and energy. Also, BRICS is still trying to gain their momentum. I don't think BRICS is ever going to turn into much. I hope Europe isn't dumb enough to go with it.
I'm personally not worried about it.
Like, honestly, I think things will just calm down. Like, Trump is obviously marking his territory right now.
I have lost. Shit.
And he's already being given everything he wants. Like, I want Greenland. And they're like, you can't have it. Do you want mining rights, though? It's like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I just genuinely think this is just Trump's deal. He asks for everything, gets half of what he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, he wrote a book about it.
Yes, and he's now applying it.
Yeah, explaining exactly how he does things, and now he's doing it. And it's like, that's not very surprising, is it?
Yeah. It's like, America doesn't want Greenland, trust me. The Danish state is already paying hundreds of millions to maintain Greenland at the standard of living of Europe, right? Because
I looked at this the other day. So they pay $500 million a year.
Yeah.
And Greenland's got 50,000 people on it.
Yeah, like, it's an incredible expense. Like, this would be you getting another California.
The thing is, though, right? America actually has the resources to be able to use Greenland.
Mm-hmm. Which is why the best outcome of this is to not pay $500 million a year and still
license
get
the
to
mineral
mine.
rights. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Like, that's perfect. So the Danish will still continue to pay, and America will just extract resources.
But the Danes will get a tariff or whatever out of the resources, which will probably cover their upkeep for the fucking people of Greenland anyway.
Like,
so literally everyone wins. And this is why I did a video just before we did this on the great man of history sort of politics, right? And it's the sort of thing you couldn't have rationally planned out. Well, you may well actually have been able to rationally plan it out, but it just wasn't being done, right? Why wasn't it being done? And Trump just has this idea in his head. No, I want the mineral resources of Greenland. I want them now. And suddenly, the outcome of it is everyone's going to get richer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he did it through this.
You cut out again.
It's like, oh great. Well, if you've got a good, great man, you can win, can't you?
Yeah, like, this is literally what happened with the Norwegian oil and gas. Because we were a fucking nation of farmers, okay, growing potatoes. That was all we was. Our primary export was fish, right? We had no idea there was oil off our coast. None. We hadn't the faintest inkling. We certainly didn't have the gear to go fucking find it and extract it. Holy shit, no, of course not. So we went to America. I was like, hey, there's oil here. Do you want to check for it? And they went. I was like, yep, we found oil. You can't get it. We can get it. So we're going to come to a deal.
Ignorant slut.
Yep.
And that worked out. We started thinking, okay, you build platforms. We'll put a tax on it, etc. And everyone was happy. It made us what we were.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what's the objection?
Yeah, literally none. Like, everyone's happy. Everybody's rich and fat.
Yeah.
Sujard, the E-list was released. The Epstein list was released. Vault FBI Gov Jeffrey Epstein.
Right, okay. I will look it up.
Shane Boatwright, Sargon, your vid on the ideological sins of feminism is the reason I stopped being a male feminist in high school. Thank you for saving me.
Oh, good.
That was close. You were heading towards a life of sexual assault allegations there.
Was I?
No,
oh, he was, yeah. Yeah.
Gotta be careful with that. Shaman McLamy.
Yep, the Epstein stuff does appear to be online.
Nice. Government jobs have notoriously high job security. I know someone who didn't go to work for 2 years, spent some time in jail, and still had a job.
Well, if it helps, loads of it is fucking redacted. Absolutely loads of it.
Doesn't surprise me. Somebody probably went up with a big pen.
Yeah. So I read a bunch of the court stuff previously, and like the first page I'm reading is just stuff we already knew. I mean, he was prostituting girls. Yeah, okay. There's loads of like newspaper articles, and like Mr. Rodriguez was like his housekeeper or something. Said something about it, but we knew that.
Heresy's the question. Fire
So,
is the answer.
nothing interesting in the first one. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
We want names. We want to know who his customers were.
Details revealed. Yeah, I found something that just basically looked like they'd edited most of it out.
Yeah, it looks like they have.
Let's see. Bread Pope, first super chat. Thank you very much. I'm a federal environmental scientist. It's been interesting past
Service
months.
guaranteed
No one knows
citizenship.
what's going on, and it's been amusing.
Yeah.
As long as you keep your head down and do what you're being told to do, you'll probably be fine. Shaman MacLamy, what's that? Pilgrim Pass video on the Equalist has the phrase "equality is evil" in the thumbnail.
I've never heard of this. What are you talking about?
Don't know. Frog Jupiter, what's it like to live in Europe where your only choices are Joe Biden or Joe Stalin?
Well, it's not brilliant, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it could be better. We're currently at least having a little bit of a right-wing surge in Norway, so we'll see how that turns out, I guess.
Well, good luck.
We'll need it. Dragon Soup. Every politician should be required to play at least 200 hours of Civilization 4 before being allowed to run for office. Unironically, there are certain lessons that you would actually learn from that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, if
Like,
Europe had been
don't-
playing Civ, they would have had an army.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't act like that would be wasted time. So that would at least give them some experience of what they're talking about, even if it was just simulated experience.
Yep. Our largest competitor has a far larger army than us, and it's invading its neighbors. Perhaps I should build up some Panzergrenadiers.
Well, look at all the farmer stuff. Like, they're constantly like, in Britain and in the Netherlands and stuff like this, where they're attacking the farmers. It's like, okay, think of this in Civ terms, right? Think of your food supply. What you're saying is, I want lower food supply. It's like, no, that's your population growth, you fucking idiots. You don't want to lower the food supply. You want loads of food. So you get a big population, so you're a powerful civilization. It's literally that easy. You know, you don't have to rely on immigration.
I have lost.
Yep. And if you have too much food, sell it to other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Fluffy Shirt. I've been watching the both of you since I started high school. I am now less than 3 months away from my bachelor. Great timing from
Well
GG
done.
to now.
Well done. That is excellent.
Yeah, congratulations on that. Maximum 117B. Elon has stated that it was a simple pulse check.
Yeah, he has, but it's obvious that's all it was going to be because they're getting 3 million fucking emails potentially. So it's like, duh. Obviously, they're just checking to see if you're here, and 2 million of you fucking aren't.
Mercen X1, Arch and Sargon. You have to understand that all of these auditings going on in DC has not been done overnight. Elon had the help of the military for the last 4 years dig into the computer systems. Maybe.
Okay. Good.
Mark Ashamed. Honestly, I haven't been able to purchase any issues of the Islander. My gross income went down 25% last year. Damn, shame
I'm sorry to hear
libraries
that.
don't carry it. Yeah, that is rough. I'm sorry.
Apparently, someone who was in my comments talking about it, apparently there are second-hand copies going for $190 on eBay. So $15 now or $20 now, whatever it is, you know, 190 later.
MJ Bull 515 quote from the Ghostbusters: when they face
There's
getting fired from their research
fire is
profession,
the answer.
I can't work in a private sector. They expect results.
Well, that's literally yes. That's exactly where they're at, what they're saying, and what their complaint is.
Yeah. No, actually, literally, like, you have to do something in that case, and if you don't like doing something, well, shit. Ormasung, heck, my YouTube channel is tiny, especially for its age, but my efforts have been rewarded with both paid members and fan art, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I mean, don't get me wrong, getting into YouTube now is, good luck. But it will teach you many, many valuable lessons.
Yeah.
Zluxon Doppelganger, I work from home and actually work. There are some who can do it, but they are in the minority. I mean, hell, that's what literally YouTube is, working from home.
I have lost.
Mm-hmm.
Bogoslava, the leftists' tactics draws a partial parallel of US Americans in the Pacific Theater in World War II. We were hard in wars before, but the Japanese cruelty made us respond in equal measures out of sheer necessity. Yep. Skirshir Berzhinsky Crush Bashkaskas. Happy Fat Thursday, known as Polish Donut Day. Happy Donut Day to you too.
I just can't. It's so. I can't ever feel this is some sort of Soviet Union thing, where it's like, you know, the Polish get donuts on this one day, imported from the West or something, and it's like, today is Donut Day, and it's like, yeah, it's always Donut Day for us, to be honest. You know, I don't want to be a prick about it, but like that's what it feels like, right?
No, we just eat donuts when we want to.
Yeah. But then we weren't under the heel of the Soviet Union, you know. And if we were, I would probably very much appreciate a donut day.
Yep. It's from the bad old days when the government gave you your weekly donut and you held it up to the light like, yes, donuts. Horwitz, Feinberg and Horwitz. I bet she would have no problem with making a video similar to a workday at Twitter. If you had not asked for that from federal employees, still couldn't list 5 things she did last week, though.
Again, it's only 5 fucking things.
No. I made reports.
I do 5 things in a day. Yeah.
Reverend Norse, I started my working life as a gravedigger at 16. Before later moving into security work. These people would never survive a physically active job.
Hey, that's good, reliable work, that, mate.
Yeah, very few people are going to stop dying.
Exactly. You know, you'll always have a job being a gravedigger.
That's the next in one. I work 2 jobs for less than minimum wage just to make ends meet. What is her excuse? Her excuse is that she's a young, attractive white woman and shouldn't be forced to do this.
That is literally her excuse. Yeah, I think I'm better than this.
Yes, it is, though. Like, it sounds so incredibly fucking vapid, but it is.
No, it really is. You know. There are privileges in society. I've never denied that. You know, the question is whether they're justified or not. And you know what? I'm not even saying it's not justified that, you know, beautiful, young, blonde, white women are treated very well or anything. I'm not saying it's not justified. I'm just saying it is. Yeah. Right? It is the case. So let's recognize that and move on.
Yeah. I spent 30 minutes contouring my nose before I started my TikTok video crying about my employment status.
Yeah, I mean, if it helps, I've never done whatever she does to her face at all when I do my videos. So maybe I'm more privileged in that way.
That's true. The most I do is like comb through my hair.
Yeah. You need to get a better light, though.
I know, I know.
Your light is just the ceiling light, isn't it?
Kind of. I use a spotlight to basically bounce off the ceiling. Otherwise, it gets way too blindy.
Yeah, but the thing is, I can see that it's got a yellow tint to it. It's got an orange tint to it. Get one that's white, and you'll look 10 times better, I promise.
Yeah, I still need to mess with the lighting setup.
Just get, honestly, on Amazon, just get a diffuser, like, you know, diffuse white light, and you'll be fine.
Diffuse white light. I might do that.
I'll send you something on Amazon.
Bugoslava. Last week I delivered 1,800 pieces of mail, 480 parcels, envelopes without a misdeliver, arrived each day on time, and finished my daily evaluation. There you go. So it's a job well done. Marked ashamed. When I was on embassy duty, there was some prestige behind federal work as serving your country other than making some CEO rich. Now that is gone. Yep.
Yeah. It's completely gone. Those days are over. Turned out it was a big grift all along.
Belial, I did bricklaying when I was 15 for summer to help my mum with the bills for $100 a week in 2005. I've been a labourer my whole life, and the level of privilege these twits show makes me want to spit bile. Yep. It is difficult not to have a bit of an aggressive response to it.
Yeah.
Easy E. The sound of someone who never had to lift heavy things for minimum wage, rambling in fear if having to actually work is the sweetest sound.
Right, I've sent you the one I got for the lights. It's 139 quid, so it's not the cheapest or anything, but it comes with literally everything you will ever need, and it looks great. Anyway, carry on.
I'll see here. Oh, it's got a little stand and stuff.
Yeah.
How tall
You
is
won't
the
need
stand?
it all either. It's just the round ones are the ones you want. Just put them like one on either side of your face, about 2 meters away. You know, turn all the other lights off, and you'll just come out looking beautiful, like I do.
I might set that up. God, I need to make like a proper office space, honestly, for recording, because I'm literally a bedroom fucking feminist at this point. WMC Wolverine. I understand Trump and Elon going through all the government agencies like USAID and exposing the blatant overspending. But for the love of all things that are good, please leave the national parks alone. Once America is not $30 trillion in debt, we'll revisit the national parks. Neiman Beast, the more I listen to these bureaucrats, the more I desire them to lose their jobs. Yep. If their plan was to plead for mercy, I don't think it's working out very well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, my heart has not been stirred at all. Like, no, I'm all for it. Like, the more you, like, oh, look how bad this is for us, the more I'm just like that Jack Nicholson gift, just, yes.
JC Denton, the West has fallen. Billions must be fired. Yes.
Yes, that's genuinely where I'm at this point. Like, government spending, not on my fucking watch. But I swear to God, I would just love to have the opportunity to do the same thing in the UK.
Finn Khan's been around for 18 months. The worst part is that they could have kept their cushy working conditions if they did the bare minimum, but even that was too much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't have to be this way, but you made it this way, so now it is this way.
Yeah, simple as. Mercenaries anyone, that 8 a.m., 10 p.m. is every day without a break. And every day without a break, not even Christmas. That is a tough fucking job there, mate. No doubt. Strifey, I wonder, would a day in the life of those tech workers serve as an argument against a UBI system? Would people possibly lose the incentive to advance society to a larger degree?
Well, they basically are living on a UBI system. That's the thing. So these are the sorts of people you'd be propping up. You know, this is the kind of society you'll create under UBI.
Yes. Where the pretty ones go to their office to drink wine from a tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, universal basic income is something that can only become a reality when we've basically automated everything.
But even then, I'm not even sure it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, because the issue is the degradation to society. Because what's going to end up happening is we're going to automate everything, and then everyone's going to be big, fat, dumb, and lazy. And then one day, the machine is going to break. And then we're going to sit there poking at it like, Frank, why isn't it moving? Why isn't it making jelly donuts anymore? I don't know. It was set up by my grandfather 100 years ago.
Yeah, no, that's literally what it's going to be. And, like, we'll have degraded ourselves, you know? Like, we will be far less impressive as human beings. And that's not good. We don't want that.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
It is not to our benefit.
No.
Brandon, ramen is slop, but it's cheap and food. I need the savings to feed my plastic crack habit. Fair enough.
I have lost.
I mean, I don't eat ramen, so I don't really know what it's like, to be honest.
Blaze Stone, everyone, remember to like the stream to introduce Savvy to Sargon. Everyone watching just needs to like the stream once. Curry fund. We are close, but you're not there yet. Mark to shame, the ugly American us, what made DOGE?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. Pirate King Thazar, as a Korean, my heritage demands that I declare ramen is slop. Good.
Right, okay.
You ignorant slut.
Sajad, you said you didn't like The Witcher 3, and yet you're admitting it's a good game. Curry Fund includes my 2 earlier $5 for a Windaloo Curry Fund. I didn't expect to like The Witcher 3, and I still think its combat is garbage.
Ignorant slut.
But I am growing to like it a lot more. Like, the quests are good. The story building is good. It's a solid video game, and I can't lie. It's good.
Man, I got in trouble the other day, right? Because I said I don't like Japan. And, you know, I don't. And I don't have to. Like, there have been people messaging me for days now. Like, just because it's just like, look, I'm not saying Japan is bad, right? I appreciate that Japan has many virtues. I appreciate that you like the things that come from Japan, and that's fine. Japanese people, I'm sure, are very nice. They're very smart. They're very well behaved, blah, blah, blah. I personally just don't like the whole thing. I've got no, like, attraction to it, you know? And people have been freaking out about this for some reason, as if I'm calling them bad people or something. I don't know why. It's like, no, go and enjoy Japanese things if you want. I just don't.
Well, that's
I'm sorry. Like, sorry, I've got people messaging me even now when we're on the stream. Just be like, why are you hating on Japan? No,
it's the Japanese, yeah.
I just don't. I don't hate Japan. I just don't like it.
That's true. That's weird.
I have lost.
Japan is good. Japan is our last refuge. Well, until it turns into just us, that is.
No, Japan's going full mass immigration now.
Yeah, like, the thing is, Japan is just like it is the West, but like 20, 30 years behind, so they're probably going to now commit every error we ever made.
Yeah, they're already going. It's already happening. So it's like, you know, that's not great, but what are you going to do?
The DCV Titan, the problem with Korra was they massively shat the bed with the ending of the first season because there was no plan for season 2 at that point. Yeah, I mean, again, probably, the way they wrote that last villain was just inexplainable. Like, they had such a great setting, they had such a great setup, and then they just sweep the legs underneath it.
It's so silly because there's such an obvious.
See if he comes back.
You know what? And then doesn't get punished for it because they're a bender, right? That's what you need to do. Because that justifies everything that they believed.
Yeah. Again, it was an excellent fucking story setup, which they then elected to not actually do for some reason.
So bizarre.
Shaman McLamy, you should check out Pilgrim Pass video on the Equalist from the Legend of Korra. It's a really good listen.
Okay.
Do so. Belial, okay, so Korra actually has a character arc. She starts off as the monostereotypical strong woman, and then gets humbled non-stop and has to learn to set aside her pride. Amon is a modern commie grifter. Well, kind of, but the thing is, she didn't even grow.
But Amon isn't actually necessarily a communist. Right? Amon is kind of like the internet neckbeard, who's being misogynistic online.
And again, like, I don't even agree that she learned. She was humbled.
Change.
Yeah, exactly. She was humbled, but she didn't learn anything from getting humbled.
Yeah, and then the second, I stopped watching about halfway through the second season because she was just insufferable and she hadn't learned anything, she hadn't changed. I was like, okay, well, I don't care. You know, I'm not being paid to watch this.
Yeah, there were no lessons learned there. None of it sunk in.
Yeah.
And again, like it's there was there was another thing. All right, yeah, she Cora started a relationship with, like, there were two brothers. Two brothers who was like on some kind of dumbass bendy football team or something.
Yeah, and one of them has a girlfriend, and she steals him from the girlfriend or something.
Yeah, like, because she started, like, she knew the fat brother was really, really into her. She'd kind of been leading him on.
Yeah.
And then she starts dating the other brother and doesn't tell him. And it's just like, Pass continues to let him think he has a chance, and then it's get revealed. And the fat brother just kind of forgives both of them for no reason. I'm like, no, you have every reason to be pissed off.
She then has like a relationship with his girlfriend or something as well, and it's like she's just insufferable. Like respect people's boundaries, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, because he had a relationship with Asami, who they break up, and then she fucks him, and then moves on to fuck her, even while she's still kind of in a relationship with the first guy. She's just a bad human.
Yeah, she's just a really bad person, and I don't like her.
Yeah, unironically, Cora's just a really, really bad human being. And the worst part is the people who wrote her seemingly didn't understand that.
Yeah, I have trouble believing that too. It's like, no, look, we like Aang because Aang is a really good human being, right? Whenever he's called upon to make a choice, he makes the right choice for the right reason, and the world works out in his favor. Like with the Fire Lord, right? It would have been easy for Aang to just kill him. And if he'd just killed him, no one would have been like, oh yeah, well, that wasn't justified. Everyone like, yeah, well, it was the Fire Lord, what do you expect? And instead, he learns to take his powers away. That's like a huge character arc. You know, it's consistent with his character, but it's a huge like event in the story, you know? Like no one knew he could do this. And then it's worse than being killed for the Fire Lord.
Oh yeah, far worse. Meanwhile, Cora is just a horrible human in the first episode, and she ends the final episode with being a horrible human, but lesbian now.
Yeah. It's like, oh, brilliant.
Fantastic. That was the character arc I needed. Garm, 1988. I don't think they realized that Western men replaced conquering new continents with playing games and sports. They gave us no choice. Also, colonies eat biscuits and gravy in the US with Tim.
It looks disgusting.
It does. It looks like vomit.
It just looks awful. It's not gravy and they're not biscuits, and it looks gross.
Yeah, it's just awful looking. I'm sorry, Chad. It's just bad.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, it just looks really unappealing.
BD6, the two of you brought me back to 40k and video after dinner 20 years. Thanks. And remember, in a German chest beats a totalitarian heart with the desire to rule or be ruled.
True.
And where's the lie?
I have
Bad
lost.
Animal Star God, I miss Sterling's dictator persona. He, she, they, it was funny once. Yes.
Yeah, when Jim Sterling first came to The Escapist, I did not like him.
Did he cut out again?
Talked about games. Do you remember the old times when Jim Sterling used to talk about video games?
I do.
And then I started to grow to quite like him. Actually, I was like, okay, fair enough. I can overlook the dictator shtick. It's fine. And then he started getting really woke and gay, and it's like, what is this, Jim? This is not what I signed up for.
Yep. Just keep critiquing the video game industry, Jim. It's what you do well.
Yeah, that's all you were good at, so just do that.
Ah, and I see we have 1,000 likes. Good job, chat. Good job. I'll keep my end of the bargain, chat. Don't you worry. And YouTube's out of memory again. Fucking thing.
Insufferable.
It really is. Dryfeed, Cora...
It keeps happening to me too. It's really annoying.
It is. Dryfeed, Cora gaslit and cucked her former boyfriend. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Thread not, even if Cora ended up being good, likable character, the way she was introduced poisoned her reception. They wanted her to be disliked.
Yeah. It was literally a fuck the audience moment with Cora.
Yeah, absolutely. Straight up.
Yeah.
Brian on Streamlabs. Arch, read your Rumble rant. I am. Untriku Paratus 1349. The idea that Carl can't handle Lum Lum or Savvy's degeneracy is an insult to his level of degeneracy.
I don't want to be exposed to degeneracy. I don't think that's unfair.
Don't worry, chat. I'm sure Savvy will be far more behavioral towards Sargon. Mercenaries 21. They saw the video game as a legit threat. Had to. Oh yeah, it was something cultural that they didn't have dominance over.
Yeah.
Mason Miller, the deep state is being destroyed because a woman of ill repute cheated on her boyfriend for a good review on a crap game.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
It is.
I love that she's the Franz Ferdinand of our time.
Yep, she's the butterfly who flapped her wings and suddenly everything tumbled down. Nox, at this point, I hope Trump comes out on TV one day, throws his psychic disguise aside, and starts glowing gold and reveals he's the emperor. I can't say I wouldn't enjoy that. Brendan, while I'm thinking of it, two things. One, do you have a date for when your war game is coming out? And two, what does the UEC stand for? No, and I'll have to find out.
Why are you giving them these bits of information, Arch? They're not allowed to know
Makes
these
them
things.
excited. It tingles their little bodies. They must be tingling.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
It's foreplay. It's very important. Reaper Null, you should get fellow historian on. It would be interesting. He did Star Trek Starship Troopers video. Would love to hear you all discuss fascism. Maybe.
But fascism is actually not that exciting, to be honest.
Oh, it's more the fact that nobody seems to know what it is.
Well, yeah, there is that, obviously. But, like, fascism doesn't have a giant body of literature. It's got some, but it's not very much. And once you've read, like, half of it, you've got the gist. It's like, right, okay, yeah. We want to do it because we want it. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, okay, well, whatever.
Mercenaries in one. They saw video game plays as a legitimate threat to their rule. They couldn't leave well enough alone. God works in mysterious ways. And Mercenaries in one. We want Greenland in America. Just another Alaska. Another Alaska. Well, kind of. Alaska too costs you a lot of money. Karala, I like how that GamerGate Rushmore pick started out as a fun meme, become turbo cringe, then very recently wrapped back around to being prophetic.
You know, it's kind of funny, isn't it? Like, the things that were cringe, like, 2 or 3 years ago are actually not cringe anymore.
Yep.
It's like, you know what? Fuck it. We're down with it. It's like, oh, okay.
Mega Lag, Sargon, what are your thoughts on the old and dead political philosopher Russell Kirk?
I've never heard of Russell Kirk, I'm afraid. If it helps, there are lots of political philosophers, so it's easy to come across ones you've never heard of.
That is true. Insane Hippie saying, who wants to make a gentleman's wager that Gene Hackman is on the Epstein's list? Yeah, he died, didn't he?
Who's Gene Hackman again?
Actor.
Well, yeah, but, like, what did he do?
Let's see. Like, is there a picture of him here? That guy. Yeah, he was a pretty big actor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, him, his wife, and his dog were all found dead in bed.
What? His wife and his dog?
Yes.
Right, so we agree that he was murdered then.
No, the police found no sign of foul play.
Nothing suspicious here, folks. Are you fucking serious?
Yep.
Okay, that's bizarre. I mean,
Yeah, the police had already come out and said that they didn't find anything weird about this. And bear in mind, this is just what I heard from like the headlines, but he was supposedly found in bed, dead, with his wife and their dog. So, who the fuck knows? I guess.
Hard to believe that anyone's supposed to take that seriously. So was it like Randy Quaid or something? Was like there's a group of people called Star Whackers who go around murdering people, go around murdering celebrities, and it's like he was convinced of this. Apparently, I don't know, like, but he was going on about this, and it's like, you know, there might be something to it.
I have
Right.
lost shit.
Like there might actually be something to it, because a lot of celebrities do seem to die in really fucking weird ways.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's just like drugs, I guess, and
No, I'm not saying, you know, every single time or anything like that. But there are these ones where it's just weird, and like this.
Mhm.
Oh, his wife and his dog, and yeah, no, someone murdered him. So let's talk about who murdered him, shall we? You know, like come on. We're gonna
the
pretend.
Epstein list was going to be released, and so he decided to turn on the car and let it sit in the garage, filling the house.
Yeah, come on.
Something weird. PBR Street Gang, hey Arch, please show the centrifugal baby deliverer CG video.
You ignorant slut.
Can I even find it? Have you seen the baby catapult?
No.
Let me see if I can even find it now that I'm searching for it. Yeah, I think it's this one. So there's actually a patent for this, a machine that spins a woman very rapidly while she's giving birth to try and shoot the baby out.
What?
Yep.
Okay, you don't need that, right? This is gonna shock everyone. But as someone who's been present at 3 births, women can do it on their own.
It's there is even evidence suggesting that they may have been biologically designed to.
Yeah. For literally hundreds of thousands of years as human beings, but millions of years as just, you know, bipedal apes. Women are actually designed to do this.
Yep. But humanity then decided to try and make a baby catapult.
Just fucking stupid.
You know, sometimes you got to think differently. It was not a success, by the way, chat, in case you were wondering.
I was wondering. Glad you let me know.
Kiefer Brown, Stamford Bridge, already one of my favorite podcasts. Just lads hanging... and then I swallowed my own tongue. Just lads hanging out. And as a Yorkshireman, I give kudos to Arch for insisting on the name. There you go.
Well, there we go.
Jonathan Smith, I work from home. There are things I like about it and the things I don't like, that I can work anytime around the clock if needed. However, do miss not being able to collab with people in person.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some who work well by themselves, but they are, I maintain, the minority.
You ignorant slut.
Lurker, Fat Thursday, Donut Day, is a Catholic holiday celebrated at the end of Carnival. Sandum, the worst thing I've ever dealt with for my job was disposing of a 40 to 50 pound bag of rotting meat that had been sitting outside for a month. My first month.
Man.
That does sound fun. By hating them have mercy, me, the is no mercy. There is no mercy, I presume. Holt Senator, I wake up at 3 a.m. and work till 5 p.m. every day, but I'm self-employed, so the government hates me.
Yes.
Yep. Skibberskinski Krashapazgak. Next week, Lent starts. Fast Thursday is religious.
None of this means anything to me.
All I know now is that the Polish have a donut holiday and that it's apparently connected to religion. Zodoxon Doppelganger, full automation equals universal basic income or civil war. Until it breaks down. Corona Sol, I've said it many times, reject the Eloi, embrace the Morlocks. Noble Cornflyer, I'm a sucker for all things Caribbean in the age of sail. How is it that the safest Caribbean island to visit are the ex-British ones? Why is Jamaica so different? Who knows?
Well, Jamaica is an ex-British one.
Why is Jamaica so different? I guess, is that why? Is it safe?
Well, it's going to be less safe than it was when the British were in charge of it.
Things to do when visiting Jamaica. Choose where to stay wisely.
Yeah. Like, was it Kingston? I think it is in Jamaica. It used to be the most beautiful city.
Respect Rastafarianism. That's the whole thing. The religious and political movement combines biblical teaching with seeing Ethiopia as the promised land. Oh, holy are you sure?
Oh yeah, it's fucking preposterous.
Wow. If I was going to choose a promised land, it wouldn't be Ethiopia, but details.
Afrocentrism, mate.
Sean King, 10 years ago, Anita Sarkeesian was hanging with celebrities and going to the UN. Today, she's irrelevant. But Sargon has grown and remains relevant.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, it's kind of crazy how, like, things are, right?
It is. I mean, probably the biggest one... biggest thing was where we go. Oh yes, here we are. Anita Sarkeesian's birthday wedding.
Oh, that was so sad, man.
That is probably one of the greatest signs of how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
I did not get, like, even the bouquets like pride colors. I had a wedding-themed birthday in Stockholm this summer. It was goofy and silly fun, but I was crying on the inside the whole time, I imagine. Ooh. Yeah. I hope she managed to salt away some of that money. Frog Jupiter, a single drop of bureaucracy has destroyed the continent of Europe. Be fortunate I only defund half the government. Elon the autist.
Yep.
Threadnought, Sargs, I'll sub for a year if you do a Politics of Ghosts in the Shell standalone complex after binging the entirety of both series.
I can't do that now, but I'm definitely not against it at some point. Because I remember watching Ghost in the Shell when I was a teenager, and I really enjoyed it. But that was like 30 plus years ago, and I can't really remember it now.
I remember it being pretty good. That's all I
remember. I do. I remember it being the animation style being just edgy. It was really interesting.
Brandon, so we fund the new narrative. Sargon hates the Japanese. We found the new narrative.
Don't hate them.
I just don't like them.
Just don't like them, yeah.
Yeah. Blaystone. Almost there, lads. We can crack the 1k thumbs up. Less than 100 away. Curry fund. Only because Bartley needs to experience true slop before calling other things slop. Apparently. Alex Adamson. Greetings, gents. Been reading the Sharps books. The TV series skipped a lot. Great read. Long buggers too. Oh yeah, they're huge. I mean, even the TV series after skipping things has like 7 seasons or something.
The TV series was pretty good though.
It did, and Sean Bean doesn't die.
Yeah. The one failing of it, frankly.
Let's see. How many seasons did Sharp get? There's quite a few. Ran
was
from
loads.
1993 to 2008. Damn.
Yeah, it was really long.
God, we need more historical stuff like that.
Yeah.
Blazezone, also, mind summarizing the post-war consensus position for me, or directing me to a good video. Too much running around, not enough time to read. Curry.
Go watch the latest video on my Sargon channel.
There you go. Most next in one. No, the deep state saw the video game players who would stop at nothing as a talent and saw a legitimate threat. Ironically, if they left us alone, we wouldn't have seen them as a threat, as a challenge. Yeah. We would have just been fat and happy with our video games.
You ignorant slut.
Shaman Maclamia, Pilgrim's Pass is a Brazilian monarchist who makes philosophical critiques of media. He's done videos on Warhammer and Lord of the Rings as well.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Gently Benevolent, is there any chance you'll bring back some old merch and get the old Kekistani flag added to the Lotus Eater store?
No.
Most next in one. News report says wife was in bathroom water heater? What, shoved in there?
I don't know what that means.
Blaystone. Ang learning energy bending is a massive Deus Ex Machina. Hate how his cowardice and inability to do what was necessary was rewarded. Everything else Avatar last bender mostly amazing. Curry fund. R-worded. What do you think about calling fascism national communism? Oh, I think they already did that by calling it national socialism.
Yeah, no, it's not the same thing. It is something different, but it is based on the same kind of politics. So
Jard, the ugly blonde one of Anita's co-hosts from Feminist Frequency. She ended up applying for a shelf-stocking minimum wage job. Oh no. How dreadful.
Well, she's married now, so she can just rely on her husband.
Yeah. And lastly, Jesse Jinx for 10. I don't know how much we got until the curry fund, but Vindaloo curry, because I wish to see you suffer as much as I like you, Arch. Are we still doing Streamlab bonuses? We are. We have never stopped. So that is 13. There we go. And that is everything.
Great. Well, I'm going to head off then.
Yep, I'll see you again. Not next week. I will be away next week, but the week thereafter.
Yes. So, be good chat, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
See you then, chat. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for your generous donations, as always. And have a very good night, chat.